Did you know that a 1979 D Washington quarter could be worth hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of dollars? Some rare error versions of this coin have sold for jaw-dropping amounts at auction, and today, we're going to show you how to spot one. Astonished face. The history of the 1979 D Washington quarter. The 1979 D Washington quarter was minted in Denver and is part of the standard issue quarter series. While not particularly rare in its regular form, certain error varieties have made this coin highly desirable among collectors. Minted in Denver, D mint mark. Clad composition, 75% copper, 25% nickel over a pure copper core. Standard weight, 5.67 grams. While millions were produced, a small number of error coins make this quarter highly sought after by collectors. Let's dive into the most valuable errors and their mind-blowing auction prices. Rare and valuable error varieties. 1979 D Washington quarter double die obverse, DDO, $1,000 plus. One of the most famous errors is the double die obverse, DDO. This happens when the design is struck twice, slightly misaligned, causing visible doubling. Look for. High-grade DDO quarters have sold for over $1,000 at major auctions. Fire. 1979 D Washington quarter off-center strike, up to $3,000. An off-center strike occurs when the blank coin isn't properly aligned during minting. The further off-center, the higher the value. 10% off-center, $200 to $500. 50% off-center with full date visible, $2,000 to $3,000 plus. 1979 D Washington quarter missing clad layer, $5,000 plus. Some quarters were minted without their nickel-clad layer, exposing a copper core. These errors appear reddish or brownish instead of silver. Obverse missing clad layer, $2,000 to $5,000. Reverse missing clad layer, $1,000 to $3,500. 1979 D Washington quarter struck on wrong planchet, up to $10,000. Sometimes quarters were accidentally struck on planchets meant for other coins. Struck on a nickel planchet, 5G weight, $5,500. Struck on a silver dime planchet, 2.5G weight, $10,000 plus. 1979 D Washington quarter broad strike error, $7,500 plus. A broad strike error happens when a coin is struck without a collar, causing it to spread out wider than usual. Coins with clear details and strong strikes can sell for $3,000 to $7,500. Record-breaking 1979 D Washington quarters sold at auction. Fire 1979 D Washington quarter DDO MS67, $8,000. Fire 1979 D Washington quarter off-center MS66, $6,500. Fire 1979 D Washington quarter missing clad layer, $7,200. Fire 1979 D Washington quarter struck on wrong planchet, $14,950. Collectors are paying big money for these rare errors, so check your collection now. Money bag. Today we're uncovering the fascinating mystery of one of the rarest Lincoln pennies ever discovered, the 1964 SMS Lincoln penny. This coin is shrouded in secrecy, and if you happen to find one, you could be looking at a life-changing fortune. Stay with me to the end, because you won't want to miss the details that could help you identify one of the rarest coins in U.S. history. The history behind the 1964 SMS Lincoln penny. To understand why the 1964 SMS Lincoln penny is so rare, we have to go back to a secretive event at the U.S. Mint in the mid-1960s. During this period, the U.S. Mint was transitioning away from producing proof coins due to a nationwide coin shortage. However, a mysterious special mint set, SMS, version of the 1964 penny was created, and to this day, nobody knows exactly why or how many exist. These pennies were struck with a unique satin-like finish, sharper details, and a slightly different texture than regular business strike coins. And here's the kicker, only a few are known to exist today, making this coin one of the most coveted rarities in the Lincoln Cent series. What makes the 1964 SMS Lincoln penny so special? Here's what makes the 1964 SMS Lincoln penny stand apart from the millions of ordinary 1964 pennies. The satin finish. Unlike regular 1964 pennies, SMS versions have a smooth, satin-like surface. The details are sharper, particularly Lincoln's hair and the lettering. There are no mint marks, as they were struck at the Philadelphia Mint. The coin's rarity. Only about 30 to 50 specimens are believed to exist. No official mint records confirm their production, adding to the mystery. The absence of contact marks. Unlike regular pennies that show nicks and scratches from circulation, SMS versions have minimal marks, as they were carefully struck and handled. The astounding values at auction. Now, let's talk about the jaw-dropping prices these rare pennies have sold for. A verified 1964 SMS Lincoln penny has sold for over $10,000 at auction. Some of the highest graded specimens have surpassed $30,000. If you find one in pristine condition, you could be looking at a potential five-figure payday. Collectors and investors are willing to pay massive sums for these coins because their origin is still a mystery, and their rarity makes them one of the most sought-after Lincoln cents ever. How to identify a genuine 1964 SMS Lincoln penny. Visual: a collector examining a penny under a magnifying glass and weighing it on a scale. Narrator: so, how do you know if you have one of these ultra-rare pennies? Here's what to look for. The finish. The most important factor is the satin-like surface, different from a normal proof or circulation strike. The lack of mint marks. There is no D or S mint mark, as these were struck in Philadelphia. The edge and details: look at Lincoln's hair, the lettering, and the sharpness of the design. SMS coins have much finer details. If your penny matches TH. The 1971 UK 2p coin is one of the first decimal coins introduced in Britain, replacing the old pre-decimal currency system. Although the 2p coin itself is quite common, some examples have gained attention due to errors that make them valuable to collectors. This article delves into the history of the 1971 2p coin, the various errors associated with it, and its potential value in the numismatic market. Coin collectors, listen up. You could be holding a 1971 Elizabeth II new pence coin that's worth an astonishing £1,000, £5,000, or even £10,000. Exploding head: yes, you heard that right. This isn't just another old coin. This is a potential goldmine hidden in your collection or even in your pocket change. Stay with me until the end of this video because I'll reveal how to spot one, what makes it valuable, and how you can cash in big. Moneybag fire. History of the 1971 Elizabeth II new pence. The 1971 2 new pence coin was part of the decimalisation movement in the UK, when the old pound, shilling, and pence system was replaced with the modern decimal currency. This was a historic change, making coins like the 1971 2p among the first of their kind. Designed by Christopher Ironside, the reverse of the coin features the Tudor rose with the words, "New Pence," above it. On the obverse, we see Queen Elizabeth II's portrait by Arnold Machin, which was the official design for decimal coins at the time. You might have a 1976 D bicentennial quarter worth hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of dollars sitting in your pocket change right now. Moneybag. Some rare error versions of this coin have sold for jaw-dropping amounts at auction, and today, we're going to show you how to spot one. Astonished face. The history of the 1976 D bicentennial quarter. The 1976 D bicentennial quarter was part of a special edition released to celebrate America's 200th anniversary. Designed by Jack L. Ahr, its reverse features the iconic drummer boy, a patriotic tribute to the nation's independence. Unlike regular quarters, this one has a dual date, 1776 to 1976, to mark the occasion. While millions were produced, a small number of error coins make this quarter highly sought after by collectors. Let's dive into the most valuable errors and their mind-blowing auction prices. Rare and valuable error varieties. 1976 D bicentennial quarter double die obverse, DDO, $1,000 plus. One of the most famous errors is the double die obverse, DDO. This happens when the design is struck twice, slightly misaligned, causing visible doubling. Look for. High-grade DDO quarters have sold for over $1,000 at major auctions. Fire. 1976 D bicentennial quarter off-center strike, up to $3,000. An off-center strike occurs when the blank coin isn't properly aligned during minting. The further off-center, the higher the value. 10% off-center, $200 to $500. 50% off-center with full date visible, $2,000 to $3,000 plus. 1976 D bicentennial quarter missing clad layer, $5,000 plus. Some quarters were minted without their nickel-clad layer, exposing a copper core. These errors appear reddish or brownish instead of silver. Obverse missing clad layer, $2,000 to $5,000. Reverse missing clad layer, $1,000 to $3,500. 1976 D bicentennial quarter struck on wrong planchet, up to $10,000. Sometimes quarters were accidentally struck on planchets meant for other coins. Struck on a nickel planchet, 5G weight, $5,500. Struck on a silver dime planchet, 2.5G weight, $10,000 plus. 1976 D bicentennial quarter on silver planchet, $15,000 plus. While only the San Francisco Mint officially struck silver versions, some 1976 D quarters were mistakenly struck on 40% silver planchets. Check weight. If it's 5.75 G instead of 5.67 G, you may have a $10,000 to $15,000 treasure. Record-breaking 1976 D bicentennial quarters sold at auction. Fire 1976 D bicentennial quarter DDO-MS 67, $8,000. Fire 1976 D bicentennial quarter off-center MS 66, $6,500. Fire 1976 D bicentennial quarter missing clad layer, $7,200. Fire 1976 D bicentennial quarter on silver planchet, $14,950. Collectors are paying big money for these rare errors, so check your collection now. Could you be holding a 1976 bicentennial quarter worth hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of dollars? Money bag? Yes, that's right. Some of these rare error quarters have sold for insane amounts at auction, and you might just have one in your pocket. Astonished face. In this video, we'll dive deep into the history, rare errors, and mind-blowing values of the 1976 bicentennial quarter. Stay until the end, because we're revealing the most valuable errors that could make you a fortune. Let's get started. Rocket. The history of the 1976 bicentennial quarter. The 1976 bicentennial quarter was a special issue by the U.S. Mint to celebrate America's 200th anniversary of independence. Unlike regular quarters, this one features the dual date 1776 to 1976 on the obverse, along with a special reverse design of a drummer boy created by Jack L. Ahr. San Francisco, S. Mint mark, clad in 40% silver proofs. Millions were struck for circulation, but rare error varieties have skyrocketed in value. Some of these errors are so valuable that collectors are paying thousands of dollars for them. Let's break down the most valuable errors you need to look for. Rare and valuable error varieties. 1976 bicentennial quarter double die obverse, DDO, $1,000 plus. One of the most sought-after errors is the double die obverse, DDO. This error occurs when the design is struck twice, slightly misaligned, creating a noticeable doubling effect. Key areas to check. Coins with strong doubling have fetched over $1,000 at auction. Fire. 1976 bicentennial quarter off-center strike, up to $3,000. An off-center strike happens when the planchet, blank coin, isn't properly aligned during minting. The more dramatic the off-center, the higher the value. A 5 to 10% off-center strike might be worth $100 to $500. A 50% off-center strike with visible date and design could reach $3,000 plus. 1976 bicentennial quarter missing clad layer, $5,000 plus. Some quarters were minted without their nickel-clad layer, revealing a copper core. These errors stand out due to their reddish or brownish tone. Coins missing the reverse clad layer can be worth $500 to $2,000. Coins missing the obverse clad layer can reach $5,000 or more. 1976 bicentennial quarter struck on wrong planchet, up to $10,000. Some quarters were accidentally struck on foreign planchets, blanks meant for other coins, or on nickels, dimes, or even cent planchets. A bicentennial quarter struck on a nickel planchet sold for $5,500. One struck on a silver dime planchet went for $10,000. 1976 bicentennial quarter silver planchet error, $35,000 plus. Some Philadelphia and Denver quarters were mistakenly struck on 40% silver planchets, intended only for the San Francisco Mint. If you find a 1976 D or no mint mark quarter that weighs around 5.75 grams, instead of 5.67 G for clad coins, you could have a silver planchet error worth $10,000 to $35,000 plus. Record-breaking 1976 bicentennial quarters sold at auction. Fire 1976 bicentennial quarter double die MS67, $8,000. Fire 1976 by. Imagine holding a simple 1965 Washington quarter in your hands, just another everyday coin. What if I told you that some of these ordinary-looking coins could be worth hundreds, thousands, or even millions of dollars? Yes, you heard that right. Hidden among pocket change, estate collections, and old jars of coins are some rare error quarters from 1965 that collectors are paying insane amounts of money for. The 1965 Washington quarter is a significant coin in U.S. numismatic history. It marked a major transition in American coinage as the U.S. Mint shifted from using silver to a copper-nickel clad composition. This change had lasting effects on the coin market and collectors' interest in this particular issue. The 1965 quarter is often examined for rare errors and varieties, some of which can be quite valuable. In this comprehensive guide, we will delve into its history, key features, errors, and values. Today, we're going to break down everything you need to know about these rare 1965 Washington quarter errors, their history, how they happened, and how you can spot one that could make you rich. Stay until the end because you don't want to miss the shocking auction results of these incredible coins. The history behind the 1965 Washington quarter. Before we jump into the errors, let's take a quick look at why 1965 was such a critical year in U.S. coinage history. During the early 1960s, the United States faced a massive coin shortage. Silver prices were rising rapidly, and people started hoarding coins made of 90% silver. By 1965, the U.S. Mint decided to remove silver from dimes and quarters, replacing it with a copper-nickel clad composition. This decision was historic because it marked the end of an era for silver quarters. This transition wasn't smooth. The U.S. Mint was under pressure to mass-produce coins, leading to several errors and anomalies. Some of these mistakes have become legendary among collectors, making certain 1,965 quarters worth thousands of dollars today. Most valuable 1965 Washington quarter errors. Let's get to the exciting part, the rare and valuable errors that could be in your pocket right now. The 1965 silver quarter error, worth up to $15,000 plus. One of the biggest mistakes the U.S. Mint made in 1965 was accidentally striking some quarters on leftover 90% silver planchets from 1964. These coins look just like regular quarters, but they are made of silver instead of the new copper-nickel alloy. How to identify a 1965 silver quarter? Weight. A silver quarter weighs 6.25 grams, while a clad quarter weighs 5.67 grams. Edge. A silver quarter has a solid silver edge, while a clad quarter has a copper-colored stripe. Sound test. Silver coins produce a high-pitched ring when dropped on a hard surface. Collectors will pay big money for a genuine 1965 silver quarter. One of these sold for over $15,000 at auction, so start checking your old change. 1965 quarter struck on a 1964 dime planchet, worth over $10,000. Some 1965 quarters were mistakenly struck on smaller dime planchets, causing an unusual appearance. These errors are highly valuable because they are obvious mistakes that should have never left the mint. How to spot one. Smaller size. The coin will be noticeably smaller than a regular quarter. Partial details. Some words or numbers may be cut off because the quarter design was struck on a smaller coin blank. Weight. A dime planchet weighs 2.5 grams, far lighter than a quarter. One of these rare coins sold for over $10,000, so keep an eye out. Double die errors, worth hundreds to thousands. A double die error occurs when the coin's design is accidentally stamped twice, creating a doubling effect on the date, lettering, or images. The 1965 quarter has several double die variations, and some are worth a small fortune. Where to look for doubling? Date, 1965. Look for thick or overlapping numbers. The word Liberty. Some letters may appear double. Washington's eye and profile. Some coins show extra lines. Collectors love these mistakes, and prices can range from a few hundred to several $1,000s, depending on how visible the error is. Off-center strikes, worth up to $5,000. Ever seen a quarter where part of the design is missing or shifted off to the side? This is called an off-center strike error, and some of these can be extremely valuable. What determines value? The bigger the off-center shift, the higher the value. If the date is still visible, it's worth more. A well-centered off-strike 1965 quarter can fetch $1,000 to $5,000 or more. Broad strike errors, worth up to $3,000. A broad strike error happens when a coin is struck without a proper collar, causing it to spread out and look wider than normal. These errors are rare and highly sought after by collectors. One of these sold for nearly $3,000, so be on the lookout. Auction prices, how much are these errors selling for? Some of the most valuable 1965 quarter errors have sold for staggering amounts. Here are some real auction prices. 1965 silver quarter, sold for $15,600. 1965 quarter on dime planchet, sold for $10,200. Double die 1965 quarter, sold for $3,500. Off-center strike 1965 quarter, sold for $5,000. These coins are out there, and someone will find them, why not you? Final tips, how to find a rare 1965 quarter. White heavy checkmark. Check your pocket change. Rare coins still circulate today. White heavy checkmark. Use a scale. A silver 1965 quarter will weigh 6.25 grams instead of 5.67 g. White heavy checkmark. Look at the edge. A real 1965 silver quarter won't have a copper-colored stripe. White heavy checkmark. Get a magnifying glass. Look for doubling on letters and numbers. White heavy checkmark. Hold on to error coins. Values often increase over time. It looks like you're asking where to sell rare coins like the 1965 error Washington quarter. Here are some great options. Best places to sell rare coins: online auctions and marketplaces. eBay. Set a reserve price and auction your coin to collectors. Heritage Auctions, one of the top auction houses for rare coins. Great Collections, a reputable coin auction platform. Coin dealer shops. Local coin shops may offer quick sales, though sometimes at lower prices. Look for PCGS or NGC certified dealers for fair appraisals. Coin shows and expos. Attend coin conventions where collectors and dealers are actively buying. Online coin forums and communities. Reddit, r/coins, r/coin collecting. Connect with collectors. Coin Talk and PCGS forums, trusted places to discuss and sell coins. Pawn shops. Last resort. Pawn shops can buy coins, but they usually offer less than market value. Would you like help listing your coin for sale or finding its exact value? Rocket Money Bag. Tips for collectors. Check for silver planchet errors. Use a precision scale to determine weight. A 6.25 gram quarter could be silver. Inspect for doubling. Use a magnifying glass to check the text for double die errors. Look for high-grade coins. Finding an MS-67 or higher 1965 quarter is rare and can be valuable. Consider certified coins. Coins graded by PCGS or NGC are more trusted and fetch higher prices. Design features of the 1965 quarter. The 1965 Washington quarter retained the classic design introduced in 1932, created by sculptor John Flanagan. The design was chosen to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Obverse, front, design, features a left-facing bust of George Washington. The word liberty is inscribed above his head. The phrase, "In God we trust," appears on the left. The year, 1965, is positioned at the bottom. Reverse, back, design, displays a bald eagle with outstretched wings, clutching arrows in its talons. Below the eagle is a wreath of olive branches. The inscriptions, United States of America, and E pluribus unum, are above the eagle. The denomination, $quarter, is placed at the bottom. Conclusion: will you be the next lucky finder? Collectors and treasure hunters alike dream of finding these rare error coins, and with a little patience, you could be the next person to cash in big. Keep searching, stay curious, and never underestimate the power of a simple quarter. The 1965 Washington quarter represents a pivotal moment in U.S. coin history, transitioning from silver to clad coinage. While common in circulation, rare errors and high-grade specimens can be extremely valuable. Collectors should be on the lookout for silver planchet errors, double dies, and high-grade examples, as these can command significant premiums. Whether you're a casual collector or a dedicated numismatist, the 1965 quarter offers exciting opportunities to explore and invest in coin collecting. Imagine holding a simple 1965 Washington quarter in your hands, just another everyday coin. What if I told you that some of these ordinary-looking coins could be worth hundreds, thousands, or even millions of dollars? Yes, you heard that right. Hidden among pocket change, estate collections, and old jars of coins are some rare error quarters from 1965 that collectors are paying insane amounts of money for. The 1965 Washington quarter is a significant coin in U.S. numismatic history. 2. 1979 Error Elizabeth II 2p New Pence, The Die Clash Phenomenon. Narrator, with intrigue, by 1979, the UK's decimal system was well established, but the minting process was not without its flaws. One such flaw occurred on the 1979 2p New Pence, leading to a rare and desirable die clash error. Historical context of the 1979 2p coin. The design of the 2p coin remained unchanged, with Queen Elizabeth II's effigy on the obverse and the Prince of Wales feathers on the reverse. The inscription still read, New Pence, a carryover from the original 1971 coins, although this was set to change in the early 1980s. Types of errors on the 1979 coin. Die clash. A die clash occurs when the dies, the engraved metal pieces that imprint the design onto the coin, come into contact without a planchet between them. This results in a faint image of one die appearing on the opposite side of the coin. For example, part of the reverse design may appear faintly on the obverse. Weak strike. Another error type found on the 1979 coins is the weak strike, where the design appears faint or incomplete due to insufficient pressure during the minting process. Coins with a die clash error are particularly fascinating to collectors because they offer a glimpse into the minting process. A 1979 2p New Pence coin with a clear die clash error can be worth anywhere from £500 to £1,350, depending on the clarity of the clash and the coin's overall condition. Now, let's take a leap forward to 1993, where we encounter a different kind of error, known as the broad strike error. This error is striking, pun intended, because it alters the very size of the coin. 3. 1993 Error Elizabeth II 2p New Pence, the broad strike error. Narrator, highlighting the rarity. Errors like the broad strike are rarer but certainly captivating. In 1993, some 2p New Pence coins were struck improperly, causing them to expand beyond their intended size. Historical context of the 1993 2p coin. By 1993, the New Pence inscription had been replaced by 2 pence, aligning the terminology with the decimal system. The design had stayed the same, but the minting technology had significantly improved since the 1970s, making errors less common, but when they did occur, they were noteworthy. Types of errors on the 1993 coin. Broad strike error. A broad strike occurs when the coin is struck outside the confines of the retaining collar, the ring that holds the coin in place during the minting process. This results in a coin that is larger than normal and may have distorted edges. Off-center strike. Some 1993 coins also exhibit off-center strikes, where the design is shifted to one side, leaving part of the blank planchet visible. Narrator, explaining value. A 1993 2p New Pence coin with a broad strike error is a true collector's gem. These coins can range in value from £350 to £1,200, depending on the size of the broad strike and the coin's overall condition. The more dramatic the error, the higher the value. As we continue through the 1990s, the 1994 2p New Pence brought another fascinating error into the spotlight, this time, a double die error. 4. 1994 Error Elizabeth II 2p New Pence, the double die error. Narrator, excited tone. In 1994, one of the most coveted types of minting errors occurred on the 2p New Pence coin, the double die error. This error is a collector's favorite because it results in a clear doubling of the coin's design. Historical context of the 1994 2p coin. The 2p coin continued to be an everyday staple in UK currency, with a design that had seen little change over the years. However, a mistake during the die production process led to the creation of the double die error, where elements of the design, particularly on the obverse side featuring Queen Elizabeth II, appear doubled. Types of errors on the 1994 coin. Double die error. this error occurs when the die shifts slightly between strikes, resulting in a doubled image. This is most noticeable on Queen Elizabeth II's profile and the lettering around the edge of the coin. Machine doubling, a less desirable form of doubling, known as machine doubling, can also occur when the coin moves slightly during the striking process. Unlike a true double die, this error is usually flatter and less distinct. Narrator, explaining value. Double die errors are highly prized among collectors due to their visual impact. A 1994 2p new pence coin with a strong double die error can fetch between £500 and £1,150, depending on the severity of the doubling and the overall condition of the coin. The more pronounced the doubling, the higher the value. Next up, we'll dive into the 1995 2p new pence coin, where an off-metal strike error led to a dramatically different appearance. 5. 1995 error Elizabeth II 2p new pence, the off-metal strike. Narrator, building suspense. Imagine finding a 2p coin that doesn't have the familiar bronze color, but instead appears silver or gold. That's exactly what happened with the 1995 2p new pence, due to a rare off-metal strike. Historical context of the 1995 2p coin. The 2p coin was struck in bronze as usual, but some coins were accidentally struck on planchets meant for other denominations or even other countries. These off-metal strikes are incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors. Types of errors on the 1995 coin. Off-metal strike. This occurs when a coin is struck on a planchet made of a different metal than intended. For the 1995 2p coin, this could mean being struck on a nickel, steel, or even foreign coin planchet. Wrong planchet. In addition to off-metal strikes, some 1995 coins were struck on blanks meant for other UK coins, such as the 10p or 50p coin, leading to significant size and weight differences. Narrator, explaining value. An off-metal strike can make a 1995 2p new pence coin worth an astounding amount. Depending on the metal used and the condition of the coin, these rare errors can be valued between £400 and £10.50. A coin struck on a nickel or steel planchet, for instance, can easily reach the higher end of that range. Now, let's explore the 1996 2p new pence, where a significant die crack error created a truly unique collectible. 6. 1996 error Elizabeth II 2p new pence, the die crack error. Narrator, with interest. Die cracks are another type of minting error that occurs when the die used to strike the coin develops a crack. In 1996, several 2p new pence coins were struck with noticeable die cracks, adding to their appeal for collectors. Historical context of the 1996 2p coin. The 1996 2p coin continued the tradition of bronze coinage in the UK, with the familiar design of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse and the Prince of Wales feathers on the reverse. During the minting process, however, some dies developed cracks, resulting in raised lines on the surface of the coins. Types of errors on the 1996 coin. Die crack. A die crack error occurs when the die used to strike the coin develops a small crack, leading to raised lines or patterns on the coin. These cracks can vary in size, from small hairline cracks to more significant breaks. Cut error. In some cases, a die crack can lead to a cut error, where a piece of the die breaks off entirely, leaving a raised blob of metal on the coin. Narrator, explaining value. The value of a 1996 2p new pence coin with a die crack error depends on the size and location of the crack. Smaller die cracks may add only modest value, but larger or more prominent cracks can push the value of the coin up to £350 to £950. Cut errors, being rarer, can command higher prices. The 1997 2p new pence also had its share of errors, this time with a fascinating case of rotation misalignment. 7-inch. The 1997 2p new pence offers a unique collectible due to its rotation misalignment error, a fascinating occurrence where the coin's reverse design is not properly aligned with the obverse. Historical context of the 1997 2p coin. In 1997, the 2p new pence continued its run as part of the UK's small change, featuring Queen Elizabeth II's portrait by Raphael Maclaf on the obverse and the emblematic Prince of Wales feathers on the reverse. Errors related to rotation misalignment surfaced this year, capturing the attention of keen-eyed collectors. Types of errors on the 1997 coin. Rotation misalignment. This error happens when the reverse design is rotated at an angle rather than being aligned with the obverse. Rotation can vary from subtle to extreme, even 180 degrees, significantly increasing the coin's rarity. Narrator, explaining value. A 1997 2p new pence with a noticeable rotation misalignment can command values ranging from £300 to £800, depending on the degree of rotation and the condition of the coin. Coins with a more pronounced rotation tend to fetch higher prices. 8. 1998 error Elizabeth II 2p new pence, die clash error. Narrator, with excitement, the 1998 2p new pence produced an intriguing error known as a die clash, where the obverse and reverse dies come into contact without a planchet in between, resulting in faint impressions of each design on both sides of the coin. Historical context of the 1998 2p coin. The 1998 2p coin retained the same design as previous years, with the image of Queen Elizabeth II and the Prince of Wales feathers. However, some coins exhibited a die clash, adding an extra layer of appeal for collectors. Types of errors on the 1998 coin, die clash. This occurs when the dies strike each other without a blank coin in place, causing part of the reverse design to appear faintly on the obverse, and vice versa. Narrator, explaining value. The value of a 1998 2p new pence with a die clash error can range from £250 to £750, with sharper and more visible clash marks fetching the higher prices. 9. 1999 error Elizabeth II 2p new pence, off-center strike error. Narrator, with interest. In 1999, a number of 2p new pence coins were struck off-center, leading to one of the most visually striking errors in the coin series. These off-center strikes are highly sought after. Historical context of the 1999 2p coin. The 1999 2p coin continued the standard design, but several coins were struck with the image off-center, resulting in the design being misaligned with the edge of the coin. Types of errors on the 1999 coin, off-center strike. This error occurs when the coin is not properly centered in the die, resulting in part of the design being cut off at the edge, leaving a blank area on the other side. Narrator, explaining value. The value of an off-center strike depends on the degree of misalignment. A 1999 2p new pence with a significant off-center strike can fetch between £200 and £550, depending on how much of the design is missing and the overall condition of the coin. 2000 error Elizabeth II 2p new pence, double strike error. Narrator, with emphasis. By the year 2000, the 2p new pence saw an intriguing double strike error, where the coin is struck more than once, creating a shadow or doubled image on the surface. Historical context of the 2002p coin. The 2002p new pence carried on the traditional design, but some coins were mistakenly struck twice, leading to a double strike error. Types of errors on the 2000 coin, double strike. This error occurs when a coin is struck more than once by the dies, leading to a doubled image on the coin's surface. This can happen with both the obverse and reverse designs. Narrator, explaining value. Double strike errors on a 2002p new pence can be highly valuable, particularly if both the obverse and reverse are affected. Depending on the clarity of the double strike, these coins can be worth anywhere from £300 to £450. Collecting error coins is a thrilling aspect of numismatics, offering the opportunity to own a piece of history that is truly unique. Each of the Elizabeth II 2p new pence error coins from 1971 to 2000 provides a fascinating insight into the minting process, where small mistakes can lead to significant value. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, these coins represent a perfect blend of history, rarity, and financial potential. Did you know that a simple 50p coin from 1997 could be worth an astonishing £1,000, £5,000, or even £10,000 today? That's right. A coin you might still find in your change has become a highly sought-after collector's item. But what makes this coin so valuable? Is it an error, a rare variety, or simply an overlooked treasure hiding in plain sight? Stick with me until the end, because today, we are diving deep into the world of the rare and valuable 1997 UK Elizabeth II 50p coin. We'll uncover the secrets behind its history, the key features that make it special, and the rare errors that could skyrocket its value beyond your wildest dreams. And who knows, you might just have one of these hidden gems sitting in your collection, waiting to be discovered. History of the 1997 UK 50p coin. To understand why the 1997 50p coin is so valuable, we need to go back to a significant moment in British numismatic history. The 50p coin was first introduced in 1969 as part of Britain's decimalisation, but in 1997, a major design change took place. But here's where things get exciting. Certain rare errors and variations of the 1997 50p coin have made it one of the most valuable modern British coins in circulation. Key features that make the 1997 50p valuable. Misstruck coins, the real jackpot. Some 1997 50p coins were struck off-center, meaning the design is misaligned. These errors are incredibly rare and can be worth thousands of pounds. Others may have double strikes, where the coin was accidentally struck twice, creating a shadowed or doubled image of Britannia or the Queen. A confirmed misstrike 1997 50p sold at auction for an incredible £8,000. Wrong planchet errors. Some 1997 50p coins were mistakenly struck on the wrong type of metal or planchet, causing weight differences or unusual coloration. If you find a 1997 50p that seems lighter or has a different tone, it could be a rare minting error worth over £5,000. Proof and special mint set versions. The Royal Mint produced a limited number of proof 1997 50p coins with a superior mirror-like finish. These coins are much rarer than their circulated counterparts and can be worth anywhere from £500 to £3,000 depending on condition. Full luster coins. A 1997 50p coin in uncirculated condition, retaining its original mint luster, is significantly rarer than a worn-down version. Collectors are willing to pay hundreds, if not thousands, of pounds for a flawless example. Recent auction prices and real-life examples. Collectors and investors have been paying incredible sums for rare 1997 50p coins. Here are some real-life examples. A perfect proof 1997 50p in top condition sold for £1,500 at auction. A misstrike error coin, where the design was off-center, went for an astonishing £8,000. A wrong metal planchet 1997 50p, confirmed by experts, sold for £6,500. Where to sell and how to profit. If you think you have a valuable 1997 50p coin, here's what you can do. Get it professionally graded by AC. Did you know that a simple 1p coin from 1971 could be worth an astonishing £1,000, £5,000, or even £10,000 today? That's right. A tiny piece of bronze, once thought to be just pocket change, has become a highly sought-after collector's item. But what makes this coin so valuable? Is it an error, a rare variety, or simply an overlooked treasure hiding in plain sight? Stick with me until the end because today, we are diving deep into the world of the rare and valuable 1971 UK Elizabeth II 1p coin. We'll uncover the secrets behind its history, the key features that make it special, and the rare errors that could skyrocket its value beyond your wildest dreams. And who knows? You might just have one of these hidden gems sitting in your coin jar, waiting to be discovered. History. To understand why the 1971 1p coin is so valuable, we need to go back in time to the early 1970s. This was a monumental period in British currency history. The UK was transitioning from the old pounds, shillings, and pence system to the decimal currency system. This massive change meant that new coins had to be introduced, including the now famous 1p coin. While millions of these coins were minted in 1971, certain variations and errors have made some of them incredibly valuable today. And that's where the big money comes into play. Key features that make the 1971 1p valuable. Low mintage proof coins. The Royal Mint produced a limited number of proof sets in 1971, which were specially struck with high-quality finishes. These proof coins have sharper details, mirror-like surfaces, and are usually found in pristine condition. If you come across a proof 1971 1p in its original packaging, it could fetch anywhere from £500 to £5,000, depending on its condition. Error coins, the real jackpot. Some 1971 1p coins feature misstrikes, off-center strikes, or double-die errors, making them highly valuable. One of the rarest errors is the wrong metal error, where a 1971 1p was mistakenly struck on a different metal planchet. Coins with these types of errors have been known to sell for £5,000 to £10,000 or more at auctions. Full red luster coins. A 1971 1p coin with full red luster, meaning it retains its original mint red shine, is much rarer than a worn-down brownish coin. Collectors are willing to pay hundreds, if not thousands, of pounds for a perfect red luster example. Recent auction prices and real-life examples. Collectors and investors have been paying incredible sums for rare 1971 1p coins. Here are some real-life examples. A perfect proof 1971 1p in top condition sold for £1,500 at auction. A rare error strike coin, possibly on the wrong metal, went for an astonishing £8,200. A full red luster 1971 1p coin, graded in mint state, sold for £3,500. The 1964 DSMS Lincoln penny. Only a few of these elusive coins are known to exist, and their mind-blowing values at auctions will leave you speechless. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you might just want to check your coin collection for this hidden treasure. The history behind the 1964 DSMS Lincoln penny. To understand why the 1964 DSMS Lincoln penny is so rare and valuable, we first have to go back to 1964, a time of great change for U.S. coinage. The nation was dealing with a severe coin shortage, primarily due to hoarding of silver coins as their intrinsic value exceeded their face value. The U.S. Mint scrambled to address the issue by making changes to production, including eliminating mint marks on coins starting in 1965 to discourage hoarding. Amid this chaos, a small batch of Lincoln pennies was struck in Denver with an unusual finish, known as SMS, or Special Mint Set coins. But here's the mystery. Officially, the U.S. Mint never confirmed producing SMS pennies in Denver that year. So where did they come from? And why do they command such staggering prices? What makes the 1964 DSMS Lincoln penny so special? Here's what makes the 1964 DSMS Lincoln penny stand apart from the millions of regular 1964 D pennies. The unique SMS finish. SMS coins are known for their distinct satin-like luster, sharper details, and absence of the usual strong mint luster found on regular business strike pennies. The rims are often squared off, giving the coin a more refined appearance. Extremely limited number. Only a handful of these coins are known to exist, making them among the rarest Lincoln pennies ever discovered. Some numismatists speculate they were experimental pieces or test strikes, possibly made for mint officials. Striking characteristics. These coins feature crisp details, particularly in Lincoln's hair and the lettering. They have a unique matte or satin finish, setting them apart from both proof and circulation coins. The astounding values at auction. Now, let's talk about what you're really here for, the insane auction prices these rare pennies have fetched. In recent years, a 1964 DSMS Lincoln penny has sold for over $10,000. Some high-grade specimens have reached even higher valuations, surpassing $20,000. The record price for one of these rare pennies? A jaw-dropping $30,000. Why do collectors pay so much? Because finding one of these is like discovering a long-lost relic. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for numismatists. How to identify a genuine 1964 DSMS Lincoln penny. So, how do you know if you have one of these ultra-rare coins? Here's what to look for. The finish. Look for a unique satin-like texture with no mirror-like proof qualities. The details. Check Lincoln's bust, the lettering, and the wheat stalks on the reverse. SMS pennies have sharp, crisp details. 3M the rims. Unlike regular pennies, SMS versions have squared off, well-defined rims. Mint mark, unlike MO. Today we're diving into the world of one of the rarest and most mysterious Lincoln pennies ever struck, the 1983 D copper penny. This coin is shrouded in mystery, and if you happen to find one, you could be holding on to a small fortune. Stay with me to the end, because you won't want to miss how to identify this valuable treasure. The history behind the 1983 D copper penny. To understand why the 1983 D copper penny is so rare, we have to go back to the early 1980s, when the U.S. Mint made a major shift in coin production. Before 1982, Lincoln pennies were primarily made of 95% copper, but due to rising metal costs, the U.S. Mint switched to a zinc core with a thin copper plating. This means that all pennies struck after 1982 should be made of zinc, but somehow, a small number of 1983 D pennies were mistakenly struck in solid copper. This error has puzzled numismatists for decades. Was it an accident? Was it an experimental strike? Or was it something more mysterious? Regardless of how it happened, one thing is clear. finding one of these rare 1983D copper pennies could make you thousands of dollars richer. What makes the 1983D copper penny so special? Here's what makes the 1983D copper penny stand apart from the billions of regular 1983D pennies. The metal composition. Normal 1983D pennies are made of 97.5% zinc with a thin copper coating. The rare error pennies are made of solid copper, just like the pre-1982 cents. The weight difference. A standard zinc penny weighs 2.5 grams. A genuine 1983D copper penny weighs 3.1 grams, like older copper cents. A simple scale test can instantly reveal if you have the rare version. The coin's rarity. Only a handful of these have ever been discovered. Some believe they were struck using leftover copper planchets that somehow made it into production. The astounding values at auction. Narrator. Now, let's talk about what you're really here for. The insane auction prices these rare pennies have fetched. A confirmed 1983D copper penny has sold for over $10,000 at auction. Some high-grade specimens have surpassed $15,000. If you find one in uncirculated condition, you could be looking at a potential five-figure payday. Why do collectors pay so much? Because this error is incredibly rare, and verifying an authentic one is like finding a hidden treasure in the world of numismatics. How to identify a genuine 1983D copper penny. Visual. A collector weighing a penny on a scale, inspecting it under a magnifying glass. Narrator. So, how do you know if you have one of these ultra-rare coins? Here's what to check. The weight test. Weigh your penny. If it reads 3.1 grams, you might have the rare copper version. The color and texture. Copper pennies have a deeper, reddish-brown tone, whereas zinc pennies appear brighter and deteriorate faster. The sound test. Tap a pre-1982 copper penny against your 1983D penny. If they sound identical, that's a good sign. If your penny match. Welcome back, the Coins Hunters, the top 5 most valuable quarters worth a lot of big money that could make you big money. Some rare these error quarters have sold for massive amounts at auction, making them some of the most sought-after Washington quarters out there. So, what makes this coin so valuable? How can you tell if you have one? You could be holding a 1981D Washington quarter worth $1,000, $5,000, or even a jaw-dropping $10,000. Some rare error coins from 1981 have sold for massive amounts at auction. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might be running to check your coin collection. History of the 1981D Washington quarter. Before we dive into the rare errors, let's take a quick look at the 1981D Washington quarter's history. The Washington quarter series was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The design, created by John Flanagan, became one of the most recognizable U.S. coins ever minted. Fast forward to 1981, the U.S. Mint produced millions of quarters at 3 locations: Philadelphia, P, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. The Denver Mint, identified by the D mint mark. How much is your 1981D error quarter worth? Now, let's talk money. The value of a 1981D error quarter depends on the type of error, its condition, and collector demand. Here's a breakdown of potential values. Moneybag double die errors. Depending on the strength of the doubling, these quarters can sell for $1,000 to $5,000 or more. Moneybag off-center strikes. A quarter with a 50% off-center strike could fetch $500 to $3,000, depending on how much of the date and mint mark is visible. Moneybag clipped planchet errors. These can sell for anywhere between $200 and $1,500, depending on the severity of the clip. Moneybag broadstruck errors. These rare quarters can bring in $500 to $2,000, especially if the strike is dramatic. Moneybag transitional planchet errors. If you find a 1981D quarter struck on a silver planchet, it could be worth $10,000 or even more. One of these extremely rare transitional errors could set record prices at auction. How to identify and sell your 1981D error quarter. So, how do you check if you have one of these rare quarters? Follow these steps. Heavy checkmark. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Look closely at Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date to check for doubling. Heavy checkmark. Weigh your coin. A standard 1981D quarter should weigh 5.67 grams. If it's heavier or lighter, you might have an error coin. Heavy checkmark. Check for off-center strikes, broad strikes, or missing parts. These can be obvious just by looking at the coin's shape and alignment. Heavy checkmark. Get it authenticated. If you think you have a valuable error coin, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC for certification. Heavy checkmarks sell at auctions or online marketplaces, eBay, heritage auctions, and great collections are great places to sell high-value error coins. Final thoughts and call to action. So, there you have it. The 1981 D Washington quarter might seem like just another old coin, but if you find one with a rare error, it could be worth thousands of dollars. Don't forget to check your change, look through your coin jars, and search your old collections. You might be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. You could be holding a 1982 D Washington quarter worth $1,000, $5,000, or even a jaw-dropping $10,000. Yes, you heard that right. Some rare error coins from 1982 have sold for massive amounts at auction, making them some of the most sought-after Washington quarters out there. So, what makes this coin so valuable? How can you tell if you have one? And most importantly, history of the 1982 D Washington quarter. Before we dive into the rare errors, let's take a quick look at the 1982 D Washington quarter's history. The Washington quarter series was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The design, created by John Flanagan, became one of the most recognizable U.S. coins ever minted. Fast forward to 1982, the U.S. Mint produced millions of quarters at 3 locations: Philadelphia, P, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. The Denver Mint, identified by the D mint mark. Rare errors on the 1982 D quarter. Now, let's talk about the big money makers, the rare error quarters that could be worth thousands. Some of the most valuable errors include: how much is your 1982 D error quarter worth? Now, let's talk money. The value of a 1982 D error quarter depends on the type of error, its condition, and collector demand. Here's a breakdown of potential values. Money bag double die errors. Depending on the strength of the doubling, these quarters can sell for $1,000 to $5,000 or more. Money bag off-center strikes. A quarter with a 50% off-center strike could fetch $500 to $3,000, depending on how much of the date and mint mark is visible. Money bag clipped planchet errors. These can sell for anywhere between $200 and $1,500, depending on the severity of the clip. Money bag broadstruck errors. These rare quarters can bring in $500 to $2,000, especially if the strike is dramatic. Money bag transitional planchet errors. If you find a 1982 D quarter struck on a copper planchet, it could be worth $10,000 or even more. One of these extremely rare transitional errors could set record prices at auction. Final thoughts and call to action. So, there you have it. The 1982 D Washington quarter might seem like just another old coin, but if you find one with a rare error, it could be worth thousands of dollars. Don't forget to check your change, look through your coin jars, and search your old collections. You might be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. You could be holding a 1984 D Washington quarter worth $1,000, $5,000, or even a jaw-dropping $10,000. Yes, you heard that right. Some rare error coins from 1984 have sold for massive amounts at auction, making them some of the most sought-after Washington quarters out there. So, what makes this coin so valuable? How can you tell if you have one? And most importantly, how much could your coin be worth? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might be running to check your coin collection. History of the 1984 D Washington quarter. Before we dive into the rare errors, let's take a quick look at the 1984 D Washington quarter's history. The Washington quarter series was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The design, created by John Flanagan, became one of the most recognizable U.S. coins ever minted. Fast forward to 1984, the U.S. Mint produced millions of quarters at 3 locations: Philadelphia, P, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. The Denver Mint, identified by the D mint mark. Some rare errors have turned a few of these coins into treasures worth thousands. Rare errors on the 1984 D quarter. Now, let's talk about the big money makers, the rare error quarters that could be worth thousands. Some of the most valuable errors include: how much is your 1984 D error quarter worth? Now, let's talk money. The value of a 1984 D error quarter depends on the type of error, its condition, and collector demand. Here's a breakdown of potential values. Money bag double die errors. Depending on the strength of the doubling, these quarters can sell for $1,000 to $5,000 or more. Money bag off-center strikes. A quarter with a 50% off-center strike could fetch $500 to $3,000, depending on how much of the date and mint mark is visible. Money bag clipped planchet errors. These can sell for anywhere between $200 and $1,500, depending on the severity of the clip. Money bag broadstruck errors. these rare quarters can bring in $500 to $2,000, especially if the strike is dramatic. Money bag transitional planchet errors. If you find a 1984 D quarter struck on a copper planchet, it could be worth $10,000 or even more. One of these extremely rare transitional errors could set record prices at auction. How to identify and sell your 1984 D error quarter. So, how do you check if you have one of these rare quarters? Follow these steps. Heavy checkmark. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Look closely at Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date to check for doubling. Heavy checkmark. Weigh your coin. A standard 1984 D quarter should weigh 5.67 grams. If it's heavier or lighter, you might have an error coin. Heavy checkmark. Check for off-center strikes, broad strikes, or missing parts. These can be obvious just by looking at the coin's shape and alignment. Heavy checkmark. Get it authenticated. If you think you have a valuable error coin, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC for certification. Heavy checkmark. Sell at auctions or online marketplaces, eBay, her. You could be holding a 1987 D Washington quarter worth $1,000, $5,000, or even a jaw-dropping $10,000. Yes, you heard that right. Some rare error coins from 1987 have sold for massive amounts at auction, making them some of the most sought-after Washington quarters out there. So, what makes this coin so valuable? How can you tell if you have one? And most importantly, how much could your coin be worth? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might be running to check your coin collection. History of the 1987 D Washington quarter. Before we dive into the rare errors, let's take a quick look at the 1987 D Washington quarter's history. The Washington quarter series was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The design, created by John Flanagan, became one of the most recognizable U.S. coins ever minted. Fast forward to 1987, the U.S. Mint produced millions of quarters at 3 locations, Philadelphia, P, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. The Denver Mint, identified by the D mint mark, rare errors on the 1987 D quarter. Now, let's talk about the big money makers, the rare error quarters that could be worth thousands. Some of the most valuable errors include: how much is your 1987 D error quarter worth? Now, let's talk money. The value of a 1987 D error quarter depends on the type of error, its condition, and collector demand. Here's a breakdown of potential values. Money bag double die errors. Depending on the strength of the doubling, these quarters can sell for $1,000 to $5,000 or more. Money bag off-center strikes. A quarter with a 50% off-center strike could fetch $500 to $3,000, depending on how much of the date and mint mark is visible. Money bag clipped planchet errors. These can sell for anywhere between $200 and $1,500, depending on the severity of the clip. Money bag broad-struck errors. These rare quarters can bring in $500 to $2,000, especially if the strike is dramatic. Money bag transitional planchet errors. If you find a 1987 D quarter struck on a copper planchet, it could be worth $10,000 or even more. One of these extremely rare transitional errors could set record prices at auction. How to identify and sell your 1987 D error quarter. So, how do you check if you have one of these rare quarters? Follow these steps. Heavy checkmark. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Look closely at Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date to check for doubling. Heavy checkmark. Weigh your coin. A standard 1987 D quarter should weigh 5.67 grams. If it's heavier or lighter, you might have an error coin. Heavy checkmark. Check for off-center strikes, broad strikes, or missing parts. These can be obvious just by looking at the coin's shape and alignment. Heavy checkmark. Get it authenticated. If you think you have a valuable error coin, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC for certification. Heavy checkmark. Sell at auctions or online marketplaces, eBay, heritage auctions, and great collections are great places to sell high-value error coin. You could be holding a 1988 D Washington quarter worth $1,000, $5,000, or even a jaw-dropping $10,000. Yes, you heard that right. Some rare error coins from 1988 have sold for massive amounts at auction, making them some of the most sought-after Washington quarters out there. So, what makes this coin so valuable? How can you tell if you have one? And most importantly, how much could your coin be worth? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might be running to check your coin collection. History of the 1988 D Washington quarter. Before we dive into the rare errors, let's take a quick look at the 1988 D Washington quarter's history. The Washington quarter series was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The design, created by John Flanagan, became one of the most recognizable U.S. coins ever minted. Fast forward to 1988, the U.S. Mint produced millions of quarters at 3 locations, Philadelphia, P, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. The Denver Mint, identified by the D mint mark. Rare errors on the 1988 D quarter. Now, let's talk about the big money makers, the rare error quarters that could be worth thousands. Some of the most valuable errors include: how much is your 1988 D error quarter worth? Now, let's talk money. The value of a 1988 D error quarter depends on the type of error, its condition, and collector demand. Here's a breakdown of potential values. Moneybag double die errors. Depending on the strength of the doubling, these quarters can sell for $1,000 to $5,000 or more. Moneybag off-center strikes. A quarter with a 50% off-center strike could fetch $500 to $3,000, depending on how much of the date and mint mark is visible. Moneybag clipped planchet errors. These can sell for anywhere between $200 and $1,500, depending on the severity of the clip. Moneybag broadstruck errors. These rare quarters can bring in $500 to $2,000, especially if the strike is dramatic. Moneybag transitional planchet errors. If you find a 1988 D quarter struck on a copper planchet, it could be worth $10,000 or even more. One of these extremely rare transitional errors could set record prices at auction. How to identify and sell your 1988 D error quarter. So, how do you check if you have one of these rare quarters? Follow these steps. Heavy checkmark. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Look closely at Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date to check for doubling. Heavy checkmark. Weigh your coin. A standard 1988 D quarter should weigh 5.67 grams. If it's heavier or lighter, you might have an error coin. Heavy checkmark. Check for off-center strikes, broad strikes, or missing parts. These can be obvious just by looking at the coin's shape and alignment. Heavy checkmark. Get it authenticated. If you think you have a valuable error coin, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC for certification. Heavy checkmark. Sell at auctions or online marketplaces. eBay, heritage auctions, and great collections are great places to sell high-value error C. Hold on to your seats, coin collectors. What if I told you that a simple 25-cent Washington quarter sitting in your pocket change could be worth $1,000, $5,000, or even a jaw-dropping $10,000 plus? These coins are hiding in plain sight, waiting for lucky collectors like you to discover them. We're uncovering the secrets behind the rare and valuable 1968 Washington quarter errors that could make you a fortune. The history of the 1968 Washington quarter. The Washington quarter has been a staple of U.S. currency since its introduction in 1932, designed by sculptor John Flanagan to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington. By 1968, the U.S. Mint had fully transitioned to a copper-nickel-clad composition, having removed silver from quarters after 1964 due to rising metal costs. In 1968, Washington quarters were struck at 3 mint facilities: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D mint mark; San Francisco, S mint mark, proof coins only. While most of these quarters are common, certain error coins from this year are worth a fortune. Let's dive into the most valuable errors that could turn your ordinary quarter into a collector's treasure. Most valuable 1968 Washington quarter errors. 1968 D double die obverse, DDO, value, $1,000 to $10,000 plus. One of the most desirable errors in the 1968 D Washington quarter series is the double die obverse, DDO, variety. This error occurs when the die used to strike the coin was misaligned during the hubbing process, creating a doubling effect on the design. Value. In circulated condition, these quarters can fetch anywhere from $500 to $2,500. In uncirculated MS65 plus condition, prices can skyrocket to $10,000 or more. 1968 S-proof quarter with cameo and deep cameo contrast, value, $1,000 to $5,000 plus. The San Francisco Mint struck proof quarters in 1968, and collectors highly value those with deep cameo contrast between the frosted design and the mirror-like background. Value. Regular 1968 S-proof quarters are common, worth about $5 to $10. However, a deep cameo, DCAM, example in PR69 condition can sell for $1,000 to $5,000 plus at auctions. 1968 D off-center strike, value, $500 to $3,000. This minting error occurs when the coin is struck off-center, missing part of the design. Value. A 5 to 10% off-center error may sell for $100 to $300. A 50% off-center strike with a visible date can fetch $1,000 to $3,000. 1968 quarter on a wrong planchet, value, $3,000 to $10,000 plus. One of the rarest and most valuable errors is when a 1968 quarter was mistakenly struck on a different denomination's planchet, e.g. nickel or dime planchet. Value. These errors are extremely rare, with values ranging from $3,000 to over $10,000, depending on the type of planchet used. 1968 D clipped planchet error, value, $200 to $2,000. A clipped planchet occurs when the coin blank is improperly cut, leading to a missing portion of the quarter. Value, minor clips, $200 to $500. Major clips, large missing sections $1,000 to $2,000. A 1973 Washington quarter that could be worth $1,000, $5,000, or even a staggering $10,000 plus. Some rare era varieties of the 1973 quarter have been auctioned for thousands. These hidden gems are out there, waiting for lucky collectors like you to uncover them. Stay with me until the end, because today we're diving into the most valuable and rare 1973 Washington quarter errors that could bring you a huge payday. The history of the 1973 Washington quarter, the Washington quarter, first introduced in 1932, was designed by John Flanagan to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. By 1973, quarters were being minted in a copper-nickel clad composition, having transitioned away from silver after 1964. While most of these quarters are common, a few rare error coins from this year are extremely valuable. Let's explore the most sought-after error varieties. Most valuable 1973 Washington quarter errors. 1973 D double die obverse, DDO, value, $1,000 to $10,000 plus. One of the most exciting finds in the 1973 D Washington quarter series is the double die obverse, DDO, error. This occurs when the coin's design is unintentionally doubled during the minting process. Value, circulated examples sell for $500 to $2,500. High-grade MS65 plus specimens can reach $10,000 or more. 1973 S-proof quarter with deep cameo contrast, value, $1,000 to $5,000 plus. The San Francisco Mint struck proof quarters in 1973, and those with exceptional deep cameo contrast are highly collectible. Value, regular 1973 S-proof quarters are worth $5 to $10. A PR69 deep cameo, DCAM, example can command $1,000 to $5,000 plus. 1973 off-center strike, value, $500 to $3,000. An off-center strike occurs when the blank planchet is misaligned during striking, resulting in part of the design missing. Value, 10% off-center errors sell for $100 to $300. 50% off-center with a visible date can fetch $1,000 to $3,000. 1973 quarter struck on a wrong planchet, value, $3,000 to $10,000 plus. One of the rarest errors occurs when a 1973 quarter was accidentally struck on a different denomination's planchet, e.g. a dime or nickel planchet. Value, these errors are extremely rare, with values ranging from $3,000 to over $10,000. 1973 clipped planchet error, value, $200 to $2,000. A clipped planchet occurs when part of the metal blank is missing before the coin is struck. Value, small clips, $200 to $500. Major clips, $1,000 to $2,000. Imagine finding a 1982 P Washington quarter that could be worth $1,000, $5,000, or even a staggering $10,000 plus. That's right, some rare era varieties of the 1982 P quarter have been auctioned for thousands. These hidden gems are out there, waiting for lucky collectors like you to uncover them. Stay with me until the end, because today we're diving into the most valuable and rare 1982 P Washington quarter errors that could bring you a huge payday. The history of the 1982 P Washington quarter, the Washington quarter, first introduced in 1932, was designed by John Flanagan to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. By 1982, quarters were being minted in a copper-nickel clad composition, having transitioned away from silver after 1964. Most valuable 1982 P Washington quarter errors. 1982 P no mint mark weak strike, value, $1,000 to $10,000 plus. One of the most exciting errors in the 1982 P Washington quarter series is the weak strike or no mint mark error. This happens when the die used to strike the coin is heavily worn or not properly applied, making details weak or missing. Value, circulated examples sell for $200 to $1,000. High-grade MS65 plus specimens can reach $10,000 or more. 1982 P double die obverse, DDO, value, $500 to $7,500. The double die obverse, DDO, occurs when the coin's design is unintentionally doubled during the minting process. Value, circulated examples sell for $500 to $2,000. High-grade MS65 plus specimens can reach $7,500 or more. 1982 off-center strike, value, $500 to $3,000. An off-center strike occurs when the blank planchet is misaligned during striking, resulting in part of the design missing. Value: 10% off-center errors sell for $100 to $300. 50% off-center with a visible date can fetch $1,000 to $3,000. 1982 quarter struck on a wrong planchet. Value: $3,000 to $10,000 plus. One of the rarest errors occurs when a 1982 quarter was accidentally struck on a different denomination's planchet, e.g. a dime or nickel planchet. Value: these errors are extremely rare, with values ranging from $3,000 to over $10,000. 1982 clipped planchet error. Value: $200 to $2,000. A clipped planchet occurs when part of the metal blank is missing before the coin is struck. Value: small clips, $200 to $500. Imagine finding a 1988 P. Washington quarter that could be worth $1,000, $5,000, or even a staggering $10,000 plus. That's right, some rare error varieties of the 1988 P. quarter have been auctioned for thousands. These hidden gems are out there, waiting for lucky collectors like you to uncover them. Stay with me until the end, because today we're diving into the most valuable and rare 1988 P. Washington quarter errors that could bring you a huge payday. The history of the 1988 P. Washington quarter. The Washington quarter, first introduced in 1932, was designed by John Flanagan to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. By 1988, quarters were being minted in a copper-nickel clad composition, having transitioned away from silver after 1964. Most valuable 1988 P. Washington quarter errors. 1988 P. double die obverse, DDO. Value: $1,000 to $10,000 plus. The double die obverse, DDO, occurs when the coin's design is unintentionally doubled during the minting process. Value: circulated examples sell for $500 to $2,000. High-grade MS65 plus specimens can reach $10,000 or more. 1988 P. off-center strike. Value: $500 to $5,000. An off-center strike occurs when the blank planchet is misaligned during striking, resulting in part of the design missing. Value: 10% off-center errors sell for $100 to $300. 50% off-center with a visible date can fetch $1,000 to $5,000. 1988 P. quarter struck on a wrong planchet. Value: $3,000 to $10,000 plus. One of the rarest errors occurs when a 1988 quarter was accidentally struck on a different denomination's planchet, e.g. a dime or nickel planchet. Value: these errors are extremely rare, with values ranging from $3,000 to over $10,000. 1988 clipped planchet error. Value: $200 to $2,000. A clipped planchet occurs when part of the metal blank is missing before the coin is struck. Value: small clips, $200 to $500. Imagine finding a 1995 D. Washington quarter that could be worth $1,000, $5,000, or even a staggering $10,000 plus. That's right, some rare error varieties of the 1995 D. quarter have been auctioned for thousands. These hidden gems are out there, waiting for lucky collectors like you to uncover them. The history of the 1995 D. Washington quarter. The Washington quarter, first introduced in 1932, was designed by John Flanagan to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. By 1995, quarters were being minted in a copper-nickel clad composition, having transitioned away from silver after 1964. In 1995, quarters were struck at Philadelphia, P. mint mark; Denver, D. mint mark. While most of these quarters are common, a few rare error coins from this year are extremely valuable. Let's explore the most sought-after error varieties. Most valuable 1995 D. Washington quarter errors. 1995 D. double die obverse, DDO. Value: $1,000 to $10,000 plus. The double die obverse, DDO, occurs when the coin's design is unintentionally doubled during the minting process. Value: circulated examples sell for $500 to $2,000. High-grade MS65 plus specimens can reach $10,000 or more. 1995 D. off-center strike. Value: $500 to $5,000. An off-center strike occurs when the blank planchet is misaligned during striking, resulting in part of the design missing. Value: 10% off-center errors sell for $100 to $300. 50% off-center with a visible date can fetch $1,000 to $5,000. 1995 D. quarter struck on a wrong planchet. Value: $3,000 to $10,000 plus. One of the rarest errors occurs when a 1995 quarter was accidentally struck on a different denomination's planchet, e.g. a dime or nickel planchet. Value: these errors are extremely rare, with values ranging from $3,000 to over $10,000. 1995 clipped planchet error. Value, $200 to $2,000. A clipped planchet occurs when part of the metal blank is missing before the coin is struck. Value, small clips, $200 to $500. Major clips, $1,000 to $2,000. Do you have these top 5 ultra rarest and most valuable Kennedy half dollars that could make you big money? You could be holding a rare Kennedy half dollars worth hundreds, thousands, or even tens thousands of dollars. Collectors and investors are going crazy over these ultra rare coins, and some have already sold for over $20,000 at auction. You won't believe how much this 1992 P. Kennedy half dollar is worth. Video game. Moneybag. Did you know that a simple 1992 P. Kennedy half dollar, one that you might have in your collection or even lying around, could be worth a jaw-dropping $1,000 to $10,000 or more? Moneybag. Stick around to the end of this video because I'm going to show you exactly which 1992 P. Kennedy half dollars are bringing in the big bucks, and how you can spot one. Fire. History of the 1992 P. Kennedy half dollar. The Kennedy half dollar was first introduced in 1964, following President John F. Kennedy's assassination. Originally struck in 90% silver, the composition changed over time. By 1992, all circulation Kennedy half dollars were made of copper-nickel clad, but special silver-proof versions were produced as well. In 1992, the Philadelphia Mint, P. Mintmark, struck over 17 million half dollars, making them relatively common. But, rare errors from 1992 P are what makes some of these coins worth thousands. Why is the 1992 P. Kennedy half dollar so valuable? Several factors make certain 1992 P. Kennedy half dollars worth big money. Struck on wrong planchet. Some 1992 P. half dollars were mistakenly struck on silver planchets meant for proof coins, making them extremely valuable. Could be worth $3,000 to $8,000 or more. Double die errors. Coins with noticeable doubling in their lettering or design can bring in huge premiums. These can sell for $1,000 to $4,500 plus depending on their condition. Striking errors, off-center strikes, broad strikes, and missing clad layers make these coins highly sought after by collectors. Could fetch anywhere from $500 to $3,500 at auction. Missing clad layer. A 1992 P. half dollar missing one of its clad layers can sell for $1,750 or more. Chart increasing high-grade MS66 plus coins. If your 1992 P. Kennedy half dollar is in pristine, uncirculated condition, collectors could pay $2,000 to $9,500 for it. Record-breaking auctions, big money sales. Trophy. A 1992 P. Kennedy half dollar struck on a silver planchet sold for over $8,500. Moneybag. A high-grade MS67 example sold at auction for more than $6,200. Magnifying glass tilted left. A 1992 P. with a major double die error was snatched up for $4,300. You won't believe how much this 1985 P. Kennedy half dollar is worth. Moneybag. Did you know that a simple 1985 P. Kennedy half dollar, one that you might have in your collection or even lying around, could be worth a jaw-dropping hundred to thousands of dollars or more? Moneybag. Face screaming in fear. Yes. Some rare error coins from 1985 P have sold for thousands at auction, and collectors are paying insane amounts for them. Fire. Stick around to the end of this video because I'm going to show you exactly which 1985 P. Kennedy half dollars are bringing in the big bucks, and how you can spot one. Fire. Rocket. Let's dive into the world of rare coins and uncover the shocking truth about the 1985 P. Kennedy half dollar. Rocket. History of the 1985 P. Kennedy half dollar. The Kennedy half dollar was first introduced in 1964, following President John F. Kennedy's assassination. Initially struck in 90% silver, the composition was changed in 1965 to 40% silver. By 1971, silver was completely removed, and the half dollar was now made of copper-nickel clad. In 1985, over 33 million half dollars were minted at the Philadelphia Mint, P. Mintmark, making them common in circulation. But, rare errors from 1985 P are what make some of these coins worth thousands. Why is the 1985 P. Kennedy half dollar so valuable? Several factors make certain 1985 P. Kennedy half dollars worth big money. Struck on silver planchet. Some 1985 P. half dollars were mistakenly struck on leftover silver planchets. These are extremely rare and valuable. It could be worth $5,000 to $10,000 or more. Double die errors. Coins with noticeable doubling in their lettering or design can bring in huge premiums. These can sell for $1,000 to $5,000 plus depending on their condition. Striking errors, off-center strikes, broad strikes, and missing clad layers make these coins highly sought after by collectors. Could fetch anywhere from $500 to $2,000 at auction. Missing clad layer. A 1985 P. half dollar missing one of its clad layers can sell for $1,500 or more. Chart increasing high-grade MS66 plus coins. If your 1985 P. Kennedy half dollar is in pristine, uncirculated condition, collectors could pay $2,000 to $7,000 for it. Record-breaking auctions, big money sales. Trophy A 1985 P. Kennedy $half struck on a silver planchet sold for over $10,000. Money bag a high-grade MS-67 example sold at auction for more than $4,000. Magnifying glass tilted left A 1985 P with a major double die error was snatched up for $3,500. You won't believe how much this 1973 D. Kennedy $half is worth. Money bag, did you know that a simple 1973 D. Kennedy $half, one that you might have in your collection or even lying around, could be worth a jaw-dropping $1,000 to $20,000 or more? Money bag. Fire, stick around to the end of this video because I'm going to show you exactly which 1973 D. Kennedy $half are bringing in the big bucks, and how you can spot one. Fire. History of the 1973 D. Kennedy $half. The Kennedy $half was first introduced in 1964, following President John F. Kennedy's assassination. Initially struck in 90% silver, the composition was changed in 1965 to 40% silver. By 1971, silver was completely removed, and the $half was now made of copper-nickel clad. In 1973, over 83 million $half were minted at the Denver Mint, D mint mark, making them common in circulation. But, rare errors from 1973 D are what make some of these coins worth thousands. Why is the 1973 D. Kennedy $half so valuable? Several factors make certain 1973 D. Kennedy $half worth big money. Struck on silver planchet, some 1973 D. $half were mistakenly struck on leftover 40% silver planchets. These are extremely rare and valuable that it could be worth $5,000 to $10,000 or more. Double die errors, coins with noticeable doubling in their lettering or design can bring in huge premiums. These can sell for $1,000 to $6,000 plus depending on their condition. Striking errors, off-center strikes, broad strikes, and missing clad layers make these coins highly sought after by collectors that could fetch anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000 at auction. Missing clad layer, a 1973 D. $half missing one of its clad layers can sell for $2,500 or more. Chart increasing high-grade MS-66 plus coins. If your 1973 D. Kennedy $half is in pristine, uncirculated condition, collectors could pay $2,000 to $8,500 for it. Record-breaking auctions, big money sales. Trophy A 1973 D. Kennedy $half struck on a 40% silver planchet sold for over $10,500. Money bag a high-grade MS-67 example sold at auction for more than $9,000. Magnifying glass tilted left A 1973 D with a major double die error was snatched up for $5,500. You won't believe how much this 1972 Kennedy $half is worth. Did you know that a simple 1972 Kennedy $half, one that you might have in your collection or even lying around, could be worth a jaw-dropping hundred to thousands of dollars or more? Stick around to the end of this video because I'm going to show you exactly which 1972 Kennedy $half are bringing in the big bucks, and how you can spot one. Fire. History of the 1972 Kennedy $half. The Kennedy $half was first introduced in 1964, following President John F. Kennedy's assassination. Initially struck in 90% silver, the composition was changed in 1965 to 40% silver. By 1971, silver was completely removed, and the $half was now made of copper-nickel clad. The year 1972 saw over 150 million $half minted in Philadelphia, no mint mark, and over 141 million in Denver, D mint mark. With such high mintage numbers, these coins are common in circulation. But, rare errors from 1972 are what make some of these coins worth thousands. Why is the 1972 Kennedy $half so valuable? Several factors make certain 1972 Kennedy $half worth big money. Silver planchet errors, some 1972 $half were mistakenly struck on leftover 40% silver planchets. These are extremely rare and valuable that could be worth $5,000 to $17,000 or more. Double die errors, coins with noticeable doubling in their lettering or design can bring in huge premiums. These can sell for $3,000 to $13,000 plus depending on their condition. Striking errors, off-center strikes, broad strikes, and missing clad layers make these coins highly sought after by collectors that could fetch anywhere from $1,000 to $7,000 at auction. Missing clad layer, a 1972 $half missing one of its clad layers can sell for $5,500 or more. Chart increasing high-grade MS-66 plus coins. If your 1972 Kennedy $half is in pristine, uncirculated condition, collectors could pay $2,000 to $9,000 for it. High-grade specimens, a 1972 Kennedy $half in near-perfect condition, MS-66 or higher, is incredibly scarce and valuable. Record-breaking auctions, big money sales. Trophy A 1972 Kennedy $half struck on a 40% silver planchet sold for over $17,000. Money bag a high-grade MS-67 example sold at auction for more than $12,500. Magnifying glass tilted left A 1972 with a major double die error was snatched up for $13,500. You won't believe how much this Kennedy half dollar is worth. Did you know that a simple 1971 D Kennedy half dollar, one that you might have in your collection or even lying around, could be worth a jaw-dropping hundred to thousands of dollars or more? Money bag. Let's dive into the world of rare coins and uncover the shocking truth about the 1971 D Kennedy half dollar. Rocket. History of the 1971 D Kennedy half dollar. The Kennedy half dollar was introduced in 1964, just months after President John F. Kennedy's tragic assassination. The U.S. Mint originally struck these coins in 90% silver, but due to rising silver prices, the composition changed in 1965 to 40% silver. However, by 1971, silver was completely removed from regular circulation half dollars, making the 1971 D one of the first to be struck in a copper-nickel-clad composition. Why is the 1971 D Kennedy half dollar so valuable? Several factors make certain 1971 D Kennedy half dollars worth thousands. Silver planchet errors. Some 1971 D half dollars were mistakenly struck on leftover 40% silver planchets from 1970. These errors are extremely rare and valuable. It could be worth $5,000 to $15,000 or more. How do you tell? Weigh your coin. Regular clad half dollars weigh 11.34 grams, while silver planchet errors weigh around 11.5 grams. Double die errors. Coins with noticeable doubling in their lettering or design can bring in huge premiums. These can sell for $1,000 to $9,000 plus depending on their condition. Striking errors, off-center strikes, broad strikes, and missing clad layers make these coins highly sought after by collectors. It could fetch anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000 at auction. Missing clad layer. A 1971 D half dollar missing one of its clad layers can sell for $3,500 or more. Chart increasing high-grade MS66 plus coins. If your 1971 D Kennedy half dollar is in pristine, uncirculated condition, collectors could pay $2,000 to $10,000 for it. High-grade specimens. A 1971 D Kennedy half dollar in near-perfect condition, MS66 or higher, is incredibly scarce and valuable. Record-breaking auctions. Big money sales. Trophy. A 1971 D Kennedy half dollar struck on a 40% silver planchet sold for over $15,200. Money bag. A high-grade MS67 example sold at auction for more than $14,000. Magnifying glass tilted left. A 1971 D with a major double die error was snatched up for $13,500. Today, we're diving into the top 8 most rare and valuable UK Elizabeth II 20 pence coins. These 20p coins, which have been a staple of British currency since decimalisation, can sometimes hide extraordinary minting errors that turn an ordinary coin into a coveted treasure worth thousands, even tens of thousands of pounds. Hold on to your seats, coin enthusiasts and collectors, because today, we're diving into one of the most rare and highly sought-after coins in the UK, the 1982 Elizabeth 20 pence coin. This isn't just any ordinary coin. We're talking about a piece of history that could be worth hundreds, thousands, and in some cases, even up to $5,000 or more. You won't believe how this coin's incredible rarity and unique design have made it a treasure worth hunting down. Stick with me till the end, because what you're about to discover will change how you view your own collection. So, what makes this coin so special? Collection. Is it the introduction to the coin? Let's start with the basics. The UK's 20 pence coin has a fascinating story, and the 1982 edition is no exception. This particular coin was minted during a time when the UK was adjusting its currency system to match the modern demands of a growing economy. The year 1982 saw the introduction of a new size and design for the 20 pence, which was first issued back in 1982 after a redesign by the Royal Mint. The design. The design is a stunning piece of craftsmanship. On the reverse, we see the classic emblem of the UK, the design of a 20-sided coin, a geometric marvel. What makes the 1982 20 pence so unique, however, is its precise detailing and the rarity of certain varieties that were minted that year. These coins were originally meant to be easily distinguishable, but it's this very distinctiveness that makes them so rare and valuable today. The rarity factor. Footage of various 1982 coins stacked on top of each other, then zooming in on the rare varieties. Here's where things get interesting. Rarity is everything. When you start hunting for rare coins, the year 1982 stands out for collectors because of a very rare variety of this coin. Not all 1982 20 pence coins were created equally, and some are so rare that they can fetch an astronomical price. It's the misstrikes, flaws, and low mintage numbers that set certain coins apart, and those are the ones that sell for huge amounts of money. Value of the 1982 20 pence coin. Cut to footage of auction results and high prices being displayed for 1982 20 pence coins. You might be wondering, how much is this coin actually worth? Well, the value of a standard 1982 20 pence coin is modest. But when you start talking about rare variations, things get jaw-dropping. While most 1982 coins might be worth just a few pounds in average condition, some have sold for as much as $5,000 or more at auction, depending on their condition and rarity. Some of the rarest varieties, like those with edge errors or proof versions, can go for mind-blowing amounts. Imagine stumbling across one of these coins in your pocket change and unknowingly possessing a coin worth thousands of dollars. History behind the coin. Images and old footage of the 1982 minting process, the Royal Mint, and Queen Elizabeth II. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the 1983-era UK Elizabeth 20p coin. This rare variety has collectors buzzing because even a small minting error can transform an ordinary coin into a potential fortune. Historical background. Introduction of the 20p coin. The UK 20p coin was introduced as part of the UK's decimalisation in 1982. It quickly became a staple in British coinage, recognized for its distinctive heptagonal shape and the elegant portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse. The 1983 issue. By 1983, the coin was well into its production run. However, due to transitional production challenges, some errors slipped through the quality control process, creating rare varieties that have become highly collectible over time. Identifying the 1983-era UK Elizabeth 20p. Die doubling/double die errors. Description. Look for subtle doubling of elements on either the obverse or reverse. This may appear as a slight shadow or blurred duplication of letters, numbers, or design elements. Impact. Even minor doubling can significantly increase the coin's rarity and value if the error is clear and prominent. Off-center strikes. Description. An off-center strike occurs when the coin's design is not perfectly aligned with the planchet, leaving blank spaces along one edge. Impact. The more extreme the off-center strike, the rarer the coin. A coin with a noticeable misalignment is highly prized. Die cracks or cuts. Description. Die cracks or small breaks in the die can result in raised lines or blobs, cuts, on the coin's surface. Impact. These errors, while sometimes subtle, can add considerable value if they're distinct and occur in otherwise high-grade coins. Misaligned or incomplete inscriptions. Description. Check the lettering for any signs that letters might be shifted or partially missing. An error in the inscription can indicate a misaligned die. Impact. Errors like these are often found on proof or uncirculated coins and can be very valuable if authenticated. Value. Impact. Circulated condition. 1983 error coins in circulated condition generally fetch a premium over standard issues, though their value is modest compared to uncirculated specimens. Depending on the error severity, circulated examples might sell for £100 to £250. Uncirculated, mint state, condition, high grade, uncirculated 1983 era UK Elizabeth 20p coins, especially those with clearly defined die errors or off-center strikes, can sell for £300 to £1,000 plus. Exceptionally rare and well-documented errors in top grades, MS65 or higher, have been known to command prices that can reach £5,000 or more at auction. Rarity and demand. The specific error variant can greatly influence the price. A verified, prominent double die or off-center error will be significantly more valuable than a minor die crack. As collectors continue to seek transitional and error coins from the early 1980s, these 1983 error varieties remain in strong demand. The 1989 era Elizabeth II 20p coin. While the standard 20p is a staple in British collections, certain errors can transform this everyday coin into a hidden treasure worth a premium. Stay with us as we dive into the details and value of this intriguing error coin. Historical background. Introduction of the 20p. The UK 20p coin was introduced in 1982 as part of the decimalisation process, featuring a distinctive heptagonal shape and a portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. 1989 production. By 1989, the coin was well established in circulation, but as with many mintings, a few error coins slipped through quality control. These errors, though often subtle, can significantly enhance a coin's collectible value. Identifying the 1989 error, die doubling/double die errors. Impact. Even minor doubling, if clearly visible under magnification, can add a premium to the coin's value. Off-center strike. Impact. The more pronounced the misalignment, the higher the error's value. Die cracks or cuts. Impact. These errors are usually more visible in uncirculated coins, making them desirable among error collectors. Value. Impact. The value of a 1989 era Elizabeth II 20p coin depends on several factors. Condition. Circulated condition. An error coin in circulated condition might fetch between £50 and £150. Uncirculated/mint state. MS65 or higher high-grade examples with well-defined errors can be valued between £1,000 and £2,000 plus. Error prominence, subtle versus dramatic. A subtle doubling might add a modest premium, but a dramatic off-center strike or clear die crack can increase the coin's value substantially. Market demand. Collectors specializing in error coins, particularly transitional issues from the 1980s, are willing to pay a premium for rare varieties. A certified grade can greatly enhance the coin's market value and credibility among collectors. Final thoughts and call to action. That's our deep dive into the 1989 era Elizabeth II 20p coin, an everyday coin that, with just a small minting mistake, could be a hidden treasure in your collection. Remember, even subtle errors can turn an ordinary coin into a valuable piece of history. The 1993 era Elizabeth II 20p coin. Although many of these 20p coins are common, a rare era variant from 1993 has collectors buzzing and could be worth a pretty penny, sometimes even thousands of pounds. So, stick with us until the end and be sure to subscribe for more incredible coin discoveries. Historical background: the UK introduced the 20p coin in 1993 as part of its decimalisation, featuring a distinctive heptagonal shape and the crowned portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse. By 1993, the coin was well into production, but a few striking errors occurred during this transitional period. The error variety: in 1993, some 20p coins were mistakenly struck with a misaligned die, causing subtle doubling and other minting anomalies in the design. These errors often affect details like the lettering around the Queen's portrait or on the reverse where abstract patterns and heraldic elements appear. Identifying the error: double die effects, off-center strikes. Examine the coin's alignment. An off-center strike may leave a portion of the coin blank or cause the design to shift, which is an error that can add value. Die cracks or misalignment. Use a magnifying glass to inspect the finer details. Look for irregularities such as die cracks or areas where the design appears stretched or duplicated. Value impact. Condition. Coins in circulated condition might only add a modest premium over face value, typically in the range of £50 to £150. However, uncirculated or high-grade examples, MS65 or higher, with a prominent error can be significantly more valuable. Error prominence. A clearly defined double die or severe off-center strike can push the coin's value well into the £500 to £1,000 plus range or even higher if the error is exceptionally pronounced and verified by a reputable grading service. Rarity and demand. While not every 1993 20p coin with a minor error is a treasure, the rarest examples that show strong error characteristics have a dedicated following among collectors, which drives up their auction prices. Estimated value range. Circulated condition with subtle errors, approximately £50 to £150. Uncirculated, mint state, with prominent errors, ranges from £500 to £1,000 plus, with exceptionally rare specimens potentially fetching even higher prices on the secondary market. Final thoughts and call to action. If you have a 1993 Elizabeth II 20p in your collection, take a closer look. It might just hide a valuable error that could be worth hundreds or even thousands of pounds. Even subtle minting mistakes can transform an ordinary coin into a rare treasure. We're taking a close look at the 2000-era Elizabeth II 20p coin, a modern classic with a rare minting anomaly that could boost its value significantly. Stick with us to the end and don't forget to subscribe for more coin discoveries that might be hiding in your pocket. Historical background. 2000 issue specifics. The 2000 Elizabeth II 20p coins are standard circulation coins. However, during production, a few coins were struck with errors, ranging from misaligned dies to subtle doubling or off-center strikes. These error varieties, while not as dramatic as some earlier transitional errors, still attract collectors when found in high-grade condition. Identifying the error: die doubling/double die effects. Look carefully at the obverse inscriptions and the Queen's portrait. Error coins might exhibit a slight doubling or ghosting on the lettering, such as Elizabeth II, or other design elements. Off-center strikes. Examine the coin's alignment. An off-center strike can result in parts of the design being shifted or truncated, a trait that collectors prize. Die cracks or misalignments. Under magnification, check for unusual raised lines or inconsistencies in the detail. Die cracks or misaligned elements can enhance a coin's rarity. Value impact. What influences the value? Condition/grade. Circulated coins with a visible error may carry a modest premium, typically valued at £100 to £500 above face value. Uncirculated, mint state. Coins with a pronounced error and sharp details can fetch significantly higher prices, potentially in the £500 to £1,000 plus range, and sometimes even more if the error is particularly severe and well documented. Error prominence. The more pronounced the doubling, off-center strike, or die crack, the greater the premium collectors will pay. High-grade examples, MS65 or higher, that have been professionally authenticated and graded by services like NGC or PCGS, UK, are especially valuable. Market demand. Although the 2020p is a modern coin, its error varieties are rare enough to attract keen interest among error collectors, boosting its value at auction. Estimated value range. Circulated condition. 2000 error Elizabeth II 20p coins in circulated condition might be worth around £100 to £500 depending on the error's visibility and overall wear. Uncirculated/mint state. High-grade, uncirculated coins with prominent errors can fetch £500 to £1,000 plus. Exceptional examples in near-perfect condition may even exceed these values at competitive auctions. The 2003 error Elizabeth II 20p coin. While 20p coins from 2003 are common in circulation, certain minting errors can make these coins a hidden treasure in your collection. Stick around as we explore the history, key error features, and potential value of this unique coin. Historical background. Introduction to the 20p. The 20p coin was introduced in 1982 as part of the UK's decimalisation, featuring a distinctive heptagonal shape and a crowned portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse. By 2003, the design was well established, and millions of coins were produced for everyday use. 2003 specifics. In 2003, production methods were highly automated, but even then, a few errors occasionally slipped through quality control. These errors can include misaligned dies, subtle doubling of design elements, or off-center strikes. While not every error will create a fortune, certain well-defined errors on a 2003 coin can boost its value considerably. Identifying the 2003 error variety, key error characteristics to look for, double die or doubling errors, examine the obverse closely, look for any doubling on the inscription, Elizabeth II, or on the Queen's portrait. Even slight doubling can indicate a minting error. Off-center strike. An off-center strike happens when the coin isn't properly aligned in the press, which can leave blank areas or a shifted design. Check if the design is noticeably off-center. Die cracks or misaligned details. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to look for any unusual raised lines or misaligned elements that shouldn't be there. Value impact. How much could it be worth? Circulated condition. If your 2003 error 20p shows a subtle doubling or off-center strike and has been in circulation, it might fetch a premium of around £50 to £150 over the standard value, depending on error visibility and overall wear. Uncirculated/mint state, MS, condition. For high-grade, uncirculated coins with a clearly defined error, values can climb significantly. In examples graded MS65 or higher, prices can range from £300 to £500 or more. The most striking and well-documented errors, such as a pronounced double die or extreme off-center strikes, could command even higher prices if market demand is strong. Rarity and collector demand. The actual value depends on how rare and prominent the error is. While not every 2003 error 20p will be a blockbuster, the rarest specimens in excellent condition have been known to sell at auction for premiums that reflect their scarcity. Final thoughts and call to action. Could you be sitting on a 2003 error Elizabeth II 20p coin that's worth significantly more than face value? Sometimes, even small minting mistakes can transform an ordinary coin into a valuable treasure. If you suspect your coin might have one of these rare errors, it's time to take a closer look. Today, we're taking a close look at the 2004 error Elizabeth II 20p coin. While most 20p coins from 2004 are common in circulation, certain minting errors have turned a regular coin into a potential hidden gem worth a premium. Stick around until the end to learn how to spot these errors and discover what your coin might be worth. Historical background. Introduction to the 20p. The 20p coin was introduced in 1982 as part of the UK's decimalisation, and by 2004 it had become a familiar piece of British currency with its distinctive heptagonal shape and crowned portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. 2004 issue specifics. In 2004, production methods were highly automated, yet even modern mints are not immune to occasional errors. While the standard coin features a flawless design, a few coins slipped through with minting anomalies that make them rare and valuable to collectors. Identifying the 2004 error variety. Key error characteristics to look for. Value impact. What influences the value of a 2004 error 20p? Condition/grade. Coins in circulated condition with a subtle error might fetch a modest premium over their face value, typically in the range of £100 to £250. Uncirculated or high-grade specimens, MS65 or higher, with a clearly visible error can command significantly higher prices, potentially £300 to £1,000 or more. Error prominence. The more pronounced the error, such as distinct doubling or a severe off-center strike, the higher the premium. A well-documented double die error or a major misalignment can push the value up even further. Rarity and demand. Even though 2004 coins are modern, error coins from this year are rare due to strict quality control. High-grade examples with significant errors are highly desirable in the secondary market. Final thoughts and call to action. Could your 2004 Elizabeth II 20p coin be hiding a rare error that makes it worth hundreds or even thousands of pounds? It's time to check your collection closely. Sometimes, even a subtle mistake can transform an ordinary coin into a hidden treasure.
Hey guys, welcome to my channel Top X Coins. Rare pennies, especially those from particular years or with minting errors, can be incredibly valuable to collectors and could be worth thousands or even millions of dollars. Here's a closer look at the fascinating world of valuable pennies and how to identify them. While most pennies are worth exactly 1 cent, there are specific factors that can increase a penny's value exponentially. 1. The 1960 D Lincoln cent is one of the most notable coins in modern U.S. numismatics due to a variety of important features. It is especially well known for its association with two major changes in the design of the Lincoln penny, with the change from the wheat reverse to the Lincoln Memorial reverse, and the unique 1960 small date vs. large date variety. Although the 1960 D variety itself is not rare in general, it has become an essential coin for collectors, especially those interested in the minor but significant variety and error issues that make it a fascinating part of U.S. coinage history. The reason for the creation of two different date varieties has to do with a change in the dates used by the U.S. Mint. The large date was the first version of the date produced, and this was struck at the beginning of 1960. Later in the year, the Mint decided to update the design of the date on the coin, leading to the creation of the small date variety. The change in the date design was likely due to the Mint's effort to improve the legibility of the digits. Because both varieties were struck in large quantities during 1960, they became an intriguing subject for collectors, especially as they started noticing the variations. In terms of mintage, the 1960 D small date is rarer than the 1960 D large date, though both varieties were struck in large numbers. The small date variety is considered to be much less common than the large date, which makes it more desirable among collectors. 1960 D large date, in high-grade uncirculated condition. Coins in pristine condition, such as those graded MS65, may bring $500 to $2,000 or more. 1960 D small date. In high-grade uncirculated condition MS65 and above, the value of a high-grade 1960 D small date can easily range from $1,000 to $5,000 or more, with some exceptional examples selling for upwards of $7,250 or more if in extremely high grades. Like MS67A. In this article we will cover the historical background of the 1960 D Lincoln cent, the varieties associated with it, its value, and how to distinguish the different types of coins. 2. The 1964 SMS Special Mint Set Lincoln Penny is one of the more sought-after coins for collectors, primarily because it is part of the limited production Special Mint set issued by the U.S. Mint in 1964. Here's a deeper look at its history, rarity, and value. SMS coins, including the 1964 Lincoln cent, were struck using specially prepared dies and were not produced for general circulation, making them rare and highly collectible. Rarity: the 1964 SMS Lincoln cent is rare because the coins in SMS sets were not intended for circulation, and relatively few were produced. However, since these were not meant for public release, the number of surviving examples in uncirculated or high-grade condition is limited. Identifying the SMS penny. The 1964 SMS Lincoln penny can be distinguished from other 1964 pennies, both regular and proof, by its finish. The satin finish has a more matte appearance, and it lacks the deep mirrored fields typical of a proof coin. Additionally, the SMS coins often show more defined, sharper details than the regular circulation coins. No mint mark. Like other coins in the 1964 SMS sets, the 1964 SMS Lincoln penny does not have a mint mark, as the coins were made at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not use mint marks in that year. The value of the 1964 SMS Lincoln penny depends on its condition, rarity, and demand in the marketplace. As of recent years, here's a general guideline for its value. A coin with a higher grade, such as MS66 or MS67, can command $1,000 to $5,000 or more, especially if it has been professionally certified by a grading service like PCGS or NGC. Rare high-grade examples. Coins graded MS67 or higher, particularly those with strong eye appeal and minimal defects, can attract even higher prices at auction, with values potentially exceeding $10,000 to $15,000 in exceptional cases. Coins exceed their intensity quite as much as coins that are $70,000 to $150,000 / grade. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. MSS coins were produced with higher standards, but they are still subject to variations in quality. Certification. A coin that is certified by a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC will typically fetch a higher price than an uncertified example because collectors and investors have greater confidence in its authenticity and grade. 3. While the 1967 SMS Lincoln penny may not have a wide variety of errors compared to some other years, certain errors like double die obverses, off-center strikes, die cracks, clash dies and broad strikes can still make a 1967 penny valuable. Of these, double die obverses and off-center strikes are the most notable and likely to attract attention from collectors. If you suspect that you have a rare error, the best course of action is to have it evaluated by a reputable numismatic grading service like PCGS or NGC, as they can help authenticate and assess the value of your coin based on its rarity and condition. 1967 SMS sets. Like the 1964 SMS sets, the 1967 SMS sets were made to bridge the gap between regular circulation coins and the more polished proof coins that collectors were used to. The 1967 set included coins with a satin or matte finish, giving them a distinctive look. Rarity. The 1967 SMS coins were struck in limited quantities, with an estimated 2 million sets produced, but this includes all denominations in the set, not just the Lincoln set. The SMS Lincoln pennies from this year are not as rare as the 1964 SMS penny, but they are still considered collectible due to their limited mintage and distinctive appearance. Finish and characteristics. The 1967 SMS Lincoln penny has a satin finish, a soft matte-like finish compared to the deep mirrored finish of a proof coin. This is the primary way to distinguish it from regular circulation 1967 pennies or from proof coins. No mint mark. Like the other SMS coins from the 1960s, the 1967 SMS Lincoln penny does not have a mint mark, as these sets were all struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which did not use mint marks on coins in 1967. The value of the 1967 SMS Lincoln penny depends on its condition, rarity, and certification. Here are some general value guidelines based on recent market trends. A 1967 SMS Lincoln penny in higher grades, such as MS66 or MS67, can be worth $500 to $1,150, though prices can vary depending on demand and the specific coin's appearance. The highest grade 1967 SMS Lincoln pennies, especially those in perfect or nearly perfect condition, graded MS67 or better, can command $2,250 or more. However, these are rare, and not many examples are found in such high grades. Condition/grade. As with all coins, the value of a 1967 SMS Lincoln penny increases with its grade. Coins that are better preserved, free from marks and with strong eye appeal will be worth more. Coins graded MS65 and above generally fetch a premium. 4. The 1969 Lincoln penny is particularly notable for its rarity and historical significance, especially when it comes to certain errors that can significantly increase its value. Here's a breakdown of the 1969 Lincoln penny, its history and the factors influencing its value. The general 1969 Lincoln penny, non-original, isn't considered rare, but its value primarily depends on its condition, grade, and the existence of any errors. Here's a quick rundown. However, the main attraction for collectors is the 1969 CP, which has an error that makes it much rarer and more valuable. The 1969 double die penny is a famous error coin, and its discovery has made it one of the most highly sought-after coins among collectors. The 1969 double die penny in uncirculated MS63 or higher condition can be worth $1,000 to $5,000 or more depending on the specific grade and demand. If it's an extremely high grade, like MS65 or MS66, it can fetch $10,000 to $20,000 or more. One of the highest recorded sales for a 1969 MS double die penny was for over $35,000. Condition. The value greatly depends on the coin's condition. Coins in poor condition with minimal doubling may be worth around $1,000 to $3,000, but coins with sharp. If you're interested in collecting or investing in 1969 SPN pennies, there are a few things to keep in mind. Look for the double die. The double die error is what drives the value of the 1969 $1.60. Always check for the distinctive doubling on the date and lettering. Condition matters. As with most coins, condition is crucial for determining value. Coins in higher grades, such as MS65 or MS66, will command much higher prices. Professional grading service. For era coins, it's often worth having them graded by a reputable service such as the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS. A certified era coin in high grade can bring a premium price in the market. Conclusion. The 1969 S Lincoln penny is most famous for the rare double die error, which makes it highly valuable to collectors. While a regular 1969 S penny might not be worth much more than face value, the 1969 S double die penny in high grade can command thousands of dollars. It remains one of the key era coins from the 20th century, and its value has only increased over time as interest in coin collecting has grown. 5. The 1971 S Lincoln penny is a popular coin among collectors due to its history, unique features, and potential errors that can significantly increase its value. While not the rarest coin in existence, certain error versions of the 1971 S penny, particularly those with misprints or unique features, can be quite valuable. This article will explore the history of the 1971 S Lincoln penny, the specific errors that make it valuable, and its overall significance in the numismatic world. The production of pennies in 1971 occurred during a period when inflation was rising in the United States, and the mint was still producing large quantities of the coin to meet public demand. The 1971 S penny, like other pennies of the time, was made primarily from a copper alloy consisting of 95% copper and 5% zinc. However, as the years progressed, the design and composition of pennies would evolve, but the 1971 S penny remains a key milestone in the history of American currency. Virtually every penny has been designed to stamp out penny orders, and several types of errors in the 1971 S penny have been documented, and these can significantly increase the coin's value. Some of the more notable errors found on the 1971 SPE include double die errors, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks and over-mint marks. These era pennies can be highly valuable to collectors. Errors on 1971 coins can significantly increase their value, especially if they are extremely coined in valuation, as they can increase in value. These errors 1971 coins can range in value from $1,000 to over $8,000 or more for particularly rare examples. Identifying rare or error-prone 1971 coins can lead to a serious responsibility and seem to increase the value of substance and property. Identifying rare or error-prone 1971 coins can require considerable expenses. To assess the potential value of a 1971 penny, collectors and enthusiasts often look for the following key features. Close inspection of the mint mark. Check for any abnormalities in the mint mark, such as doubling or over-mint marks. Look for double die errors. Examine the letters, especially in Liberty and the date 1971, for signs of doubling. Assess the strike. Look for off-center strikes or missing design elements which indicate an off-center or clipped planchet error. Examine the surface for die cracks. Check the coin's condition. Cracks or patterns on the surface of the coin caused by die wear, the more valuable it will be. Uncirculated or proof quality coins will be more valuable than heavily worn examples. The value of a rare 1971 penny depends on its error, condition, and rarity. Typically, coins in poor condition with small errors might only be worth a few dollars. However, well-preserved examples with significant errors, such as double die strikes or off-center strikes, can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars in some cases. Conclusion. The 1971 cycling penny may appear like an ordinary coin, but its history and potential for error make it a sought-after piece for collectors. While most 1971 cycling pennies are not particularly valuable, rare error coins can command significant premiums in the numismatic market, whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out. 6. The 1972 CI Lincoln penny is an interesting and sought-after coin in the world of numismatics. It was minted at the San Francisco Mint and is often discussed for its particular characteristics, historical significance, and errors that can dramatically affect its value. While most 1972 CI's Lincoln pennies are fairly common and do not command high premiums, certain types of errors, particularly the double die variety, can make this coin quite valuable. This article will dive into the details of the 1972 Lincoln penny, covering its history, key characteristics, potential errors, and the value of these coins in today's market. The Lincoln cent, often referred to as the penny, has been a cornerstone of U.S. currency since 1909. The coin was designed by Victor David Brenner and was originally minted to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. Over the years, the design of the Lincoln penny has undergone several changes, but its association with Abraham Lincoln has remained constant. The details are much sharper than those of standard circulation coins. Proof coins are typically produced in limited quantities for collectors, which is why proof 1972 WS pennies are often more valuable than regular circulation coins from the same year. One of the most exciting aspects of collecting 1972 cents pennies is the potential for mint errors, which can significantly affect the coin's value. Some of the most well-known errors associated with the 1972 cents penny are double die errors, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, which can be found on both the obverse and reverse sides of the coin. The value of the 1972 Lincoln penny depends largely on its condition, rarity, and whether it features any of the above-mentioned errors. For standard, non-error 1972 Lincoln cases, the value typically ranges from $1 to $5, depending on the coin's quality. Proof coins are generally worth more than regular circulation pennies, but their value is still relatively modest, unless they have a significant error or are in exceptionally good condition. When it comes to error coins, such as those with any errors, the value can skyrocket. A 1972 penny can range from $1,000 to $5,500 or more, depending on the severity of the error and the coin's condition. These errors can also higher prices, with the value depending on how extreme the error is. For example, a well-preserved double die 1972 penny in uncirculated or proof-like condition can command much higher prices than a worn example. Coins that have been graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC can also fetch higher prices, as these certifications help verify the authenticity and quality of the coin. 7. The 1973 Lincoln cent, particularly those with rare errors, is a significant coin among collectors. It represents a fascinating example of how subtle flaws during the minting process can dramatically increase a coin's value and intrigue. In this comprehensive exploration, we'll dive into the history of the 1973 second penny, examine the types of errors that have been found, and explore its rarity and value in the market. The Lincoln cent has a long and storied history, and the 1973 SM1201 penny specifically plays an important role in its legacy. The penny, which debuted in 1909 to commemorate President Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, has undergone many changes over the years, in terms of design, composition, and minting techniques. The 1973 coin is part of the series minted during a time of transition for U.S. coinage. The San Francisco Mint, which was primarily responsible for striking proof coins, produced both proof and circulation quality coins for the 1973 year. While most of the 1973 Decatur Lincoln pennies were minted for proof sets, some errors found in regular circulation have garnered significant attention among collectors due to their rarity and the peculiarities of their production. To understand the rarity and value of the 1973 era pennies, it's important to understand how errors occur during minting. U.S. coins are typically struck using a combination of pressure, dies, and blanks. However, occasional mistakes, often referred to as minting errors, can result in coins with unusual characteristics. These errors may occur for a variety of reasons, such as problems with the dies, improper handling of the blanks, or malfunctioning equipment. The minting process of the 1973 Lincoln cent followed standard procedures, but it was also a time when technology and processes were rapidly changing. Coin dies and presses were continually being improved, but human error and mechanical failure still occasionally led to unusual results. These errors may have gone unnoticed in the hustle of mint production, but have become increasingly valuable as collectors seek out rarities. Among the 1973 cents, Lincoln cents, several specific types of errors have been found, contributing to their rarity and market value. Below are the most notable errors associated with these coins: double die errors, die cracks and cuds, off-center strikes, wrong planchet errors, overdates and over-mint marks. When it comes to error coins such as those with any errors, the value can skyrocket. A 1972 cent penny can range from $3,000 to $7,000 or more, depending on the severity of the error and the coin's condition. These errors can also dramatically higher prices, with the value depending on how extreme the error is, or rarer examples, with more dramatic errors, or those in pristine condition may fetch higher prices in auction houses or private sales. The rarity of any error coin is determined by a variety of factors, including how many examples of the error exist and how well the coin has been preserved. In the case of the 1973 bill penny, error coins are considered relatively rare, especially those with significant or visually striking flaws like double die errors or off-center strikes. The fact that many error coins are missed during the initial minting process or the sorting of coins makes them all the more valuable to collectors. Mint workers who are under pressure to meet production quotas often fail to identify subtle flaws, allowing coins with errors to enter circulation. However, given the increased focus on coin collecting and error spotting in recent decades, many of these errors have been identified and cataloged, further enhancing their rarity. 8. The 1981 Lincoln cent holds a special place in the hearts of both collectors and numismatists. Although the regular 1981 pennies are generally considered a standard issue and don't feature the striking designs or extreme rarities seen in other years, there are still notable error varieties from 1981 that have gained attention due to their unique minting flaws. In this detailed analysis, we will explore the history of the 1981 Lincoln cent, the most significant errors associated with this coin, and discuss its rarity and value in the coin market. While the standard 1981 Lincoln cents were mass-produced, they weren't without their flaws. Errors such as misstrikes, double dies and other minting anomalies have emerged from the production process, and many of these coins are sought after by collectors for their rarity and uniqueness. Minting errors are an inevitable part of coin production, and the 1981 Lincoln cent is no exception. A variety of errors have been identified on this particular year, some of which have made the 1981 penny more valuable to collectors. Below are the main types of errors seen in 1981 Lincoln cents. Double die errors, die cracks and cuds, off-center strikes, wrong planchet errors, overdates and overmint marks. These types of errors are valuable to collectors because they are rare and visually striking. When it comes to error coins, such as those with absolutation, any errors the value can skyrocket. A 1981 penny can range from $1,000 to $5,000 or more, depending on the severity of the error and the coin's condition. These errors can also have defined sensitive errations and allow prices to deteriorate over time, with the value depending on how extreme the error is. Rarer examples with more dramatic errors or those in pristine condition may fetch higher prices in auction houses or private sales. The rarity of a particular error coin is determined by how common or uncommon that error is in relation to the number of coins minted during a given year. While most 1981 Lincoln cents are not particularly rare, certain error varieties are more difficult to find and, as a result, can be more valuable. The factors that contribute to the value of a 1981 Lincoln cent error include: the most valuable errors on the 1981 Lincoln cent are those that are most striking, such as double die errors, off-center strikes, and struck-on wrong planchet errors. These types of mistakes are the most sought after by collectors, and they tend to command higher prices, especially in good or uncirculated condition. As with most coins, the condition of the coin plays a critical role in determining its value. Coins in uncirculated MS or proof condition will typically fetch higher prices than those with noticeable wear or damage. The 1981 Lincoln cent, especially in high-grade conditions, can be worth more due to its relatively low circulation compared to other pennies from the same year. Market demand for error coins fluctuates based on trends within the collecting community. If there is an increased interest in 1981 error coins due to a surge in popularity or a recognition of their rarity. 9. The 1982 D small date Lincoln cent is one of the most famous and sought-after error coins in modern U.S. coinage. The coin, struck at the Denver Mint in 1982, is part of the transition period when the U.S. Mint changed the composition of the penny, and it features a distinct small-date variety that has captured the attention of collectors due to its rarity and uniqueness. This coin, along with its counterpart, the 1982 D large date, is one of the most iconic varieties from the 1982 series. The 1982 Lincoln cent is significant for several reasons. It marks the year when the U.S. Mint transitioned from a 95% copper composition to a copper-plated zinc composition for pennies, and it produced two different date fonts, small and large, in the same year. Among these, the 1982 D small date variety is especially valuable and rare. In this detailed article, we will explore the history of the 1982 D small date Lincoln cent, the significance of the small date versus large date varieties, the rarity and value of the coin, and tips for identifying this sought-after variety. Additionally, the 1982 penny is notable for the two distinct date styles that were struck, the small date and the large date varieties. These differences arise from the fonts used to produce the year 1982 on the obverse of the coin. The change in the date style was due to a change in the design of the date die, and the two varieties were minted at different times during the year. The U.S. Mint produced both the small date and large date varieties in 1982, but the proportions of small date versus large date coins differ significantly, making the small date variety much rarer and more valuable to collectors. This difference in the design of the date occurred because the U.S. Mint used two different dies during the production of the 1982 pennies. The large date variety was struck early in the year, and the small date variety was struck later in the year, when the mint replaced the large date dies with small date dies. The 1982D small date variety is particularly rare. While there were many small date coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint, with no mint mark, the 1982D small date coins are much scarcer. The 1982D small date is considered one of the most challenging and desirable varieties for collectors of modern U.S. coins. The 1982D small date Lincoln cent is one of the most sought-after varieties for collectors due to its rarity. While the 1982D small date struck in San Francisco for proof sets is more commonly found, the 1982D small date is much scarcer and harder to find in good condition. Rarity of the 1982 small date. The exact mintage figures for the 1982D small date are not readily available, but estimates suggest that only a small percentage of the total 1982D mintage was struck with the small date dies. As a result, this variety is much rarer compared to the more common 1982D large date coin. The 1982D small date is considered rare because it was produced only during a limited time window after the change from the large date dies. Coin collectors often have difficulty finding one in good condition, especially in uncirculated or mint state grades. The value of a 1982D small date penny can vary greatly depending on its condition and whether it has been graded by a reputable coin grading service, like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation or Professional Coin Grading Service. As a general rule, coins that are well preserved and graded higher are worth significantly more than lower grade examples. At auction, some especially high quality or rare examples of the 1982D small date, in MS65 or higher, have sold for much higher amounts, sometimes exceeding $3,000 to $10,000 or even more, particularly if the coin has been authenticated and graded by a trusted third party. 10. The 1983 Lincoln cent is a noteworthy coin in U.S. numismatic history for several reasons. It was the first year that the United States Mint switched from using a primarily copper composition to a copper-plated zinc composition, and it also features a series of error coins that have captured the attention of collectors. While most 1983 Lincoln cents are not particularly rare or valuable, there are some rare minting errors that make certain varieties highly sought after in the world of coin collecting. This detailed guide will examine the history of the 1983 Lincoln cent, explore the types of error coins associated with it, and discuss its rarity and market value. The 1983 Lincoln cent was minted at 3 locations: the Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, the Denver Mint D, and the San Francisco Mint S, which produced only proof coins. As with any year in coin production, some errors were made during the minting process, and these errors would go on to become highly prized by collectors. While most 1983 Lincoln cents are typical examples of the coin, there are a few notable errors that have been discovered over the years. These errors can dramatically increase the coin's value, especially when they are rare or in excellent condition. The most common types of errors found in 1983 pennies include die cracks and cuds, double die errors, off-center strike C, copper planchet, errors copper versus copper, plated zinc. One of the most famous and valuable errors associated with the 1983 Lincoln cent is the 1983 copper penny. When the U.S. Mint transitioned to copper-plated zinc planchets in 1982, there were still some copper planchets remaining in circulation. While the Mint had intended to phase out solid copper planchets by 1982, a few pennies were accidentally struck using these leftover copper planchets. These copper 1983 pennies are highly prized by collectors because they are technically wrong for the year. The 1983 penny should have been struck on a copper-plated zinc planchet, not a solid copper one. Because these coins were not intended to be produced, they are considered a significant error in U.S. coinage. While only a few examples of 1983 copper pennies are known to exist, they have become highly valuable. The most famous examples have been sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars, with prices ranging anywhere from $100,000 to several $100,000, depending on the coin's authenticity and condition. However, it's important to note that these coins are incredibly rare, and finding one is akin to finding a modern-day holy grail of U.S. coinage. For those who are not looking for a $100,000 find, it's important to be cautious about claims of 1983 copper pennies, as fakes and misattributions have circulated. A genuine 1983 copper penny is a rare and significant piece of U.S. numismatic history.